Currently 32 at O'Hare, 30 at Lakefront, and 30 in Aurora. Snow at all reporting stations. And your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next on AM 560, The Answer.
If you are looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, then you need to call Team Hochberg. Today, meet Joe, who has heard thousands of my ads, but called his local bank to refinance. Bad move. Joe's bank declined his loan due to insufficient income, so he called Team Hochberg, which he should have done in the first place. Team Hochberg loan officer Sarah Ruffer helped Joe refinance, pay off credit cards, and reduce his payment $600 a month. Let's review. Team Hochberg used the same exact information Joe's bank used to decline his loan, but we refinanced his loan and saved him over $7,000 a year. If you want to get off the credit card merry-go-round, call Team Hochberg now about a cash-out refinance. Seriously, what are you waiting for? Call 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Team Hochberg helped Joe and thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Homeside Financial Legal Housing Lender, NMLS 1124061.
Is your company prepared for an emergency? Are your employees trained in CPR? Would they know what to do if another employee needed basic first aid, or worse yet, suffered a sudden cardiac arrest on the job? It's estimated that over 400,000 lives are lost every year in the United States to this killer. But sudden cardiac arrest is also one of the most preventable causes of death. Call Cardiac Rescue Systems today and arm yourself with the tools necessary to treat a first aid victim or prevent heart attack or cardiac arrest from needlessly taking lives. We offer great pricing on AEDs and CPR first aid training. Our certified professional trainers will come right to your business and train on site. Call Cardiac Rescue Systems today for a free quote at 630-541-5469 or check us out online at cardiacrescue.com. That's cardiacrescue.com. Cardiac Rescue Systems. Call today. Lives depend on it.
Faith, families, and freedom under attack. Join the Illinois Family Institute for the Worldview Conference as renowned theologian Dr. Robert Gagnon challenges us to think biblically about our corrosive culture.
The power of Jesus that we experience in the good times should embolden us to remain faithful in the difficult times.
The IFI Worldview Conference. To attend, click events at IllinoisFamily.org. It's biblical training for today with Dr. Michael Brown, provocative author and nationally syndicated radio host.
It could be that we have another great awakening ahead and that America's best days could be in the future.
The IFI Worldview Conference, 10 a.m. Saturday, March 7th at the Village Church of Barrington. To attend, click events at IllinoisFamily.org. IllinoisFamily.org.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So everyone was excited to watch the Democrat-Socialist debate in Vegas to see how Bloomberg performed and to see everybody go after him. Were you similarly enthralled with last night's debate, similarly motivated to watch everybody go after Bolshevik Bernie, the Mensheviks versus the Bolshevik? That was last night. And, I always like to look at the coverage from the left to get a handle on it, because they're excited about it. They're great anticipation. There's certain things they want to see and hear. So this from the Daily Beast. Desperate Dems want to debate. They got a train wreck instead. Another headline. Elizabeth Warren inspired a Democrat debate that effing sucked. If you wanted a debate to help make up your mind, you came away disappointed. Instead, what you got was shouting and sighs, canned lines, and badly landed jokes. Curt ways for the candidates showing they had more to say, not so subtle pleas for campaign donations, and virtually everyone begging for more time. That's from the Daily Beast.
That's not a good review.
No, it wasn't, and it wasn't a particularly good debate. But you have a lot of lightweights on that stage. You got a couple of ideologues. You got a scold. You got a mannequin. You got a couple of billionaires. One of whom I have no idea how he is a billionaire.
Tom Steyer.
Yeah,
He got a lot of airtime yesterday, but that's because he spent, what, $15 to $20 million in South Carolina on advertising?
It's also every answer you think he's about to go into full hyperventilation. You think somebody have a brown paper bag on standby for Tom Steyer. I thought there were some interesting moments. I guess Biden did better, although
I thought he did great.
I guess by the Biden standard.
Compared to sleeping on stage, I mean, he fought for his time. He stood up. He seemed assertive. He was awake, Dan.
Yeah.
It wasn't time to go back to the home and have his Jell-O.
There was a lot of things he said that were just ridiculous and got a pass. We'll get to those. But, I mean, did it change the nature of the race at all, despite more audience participation in this debate than previous ones?
312-642-5600. Sorry about that. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
Bloomberg,
Bloomy.
so nimble on his feet. He made a funny. You ready?
He tried. This is this big joke, right?
Mayor Bloomberg, as mayor of New York, you declared war on obesity. You banned trans fats from restaurants, and you tried to do the same with large sugary drinks. So if you become president, will you push those policies on the national level as well?
Well, I think what's right for New York City isn't necessarily right for all the other cities. Otherwise, you'd have a naked cowboy in every city. So let's get serious here. But I do think it's the government's job to have good science and to explain to people what science says, how to take care of themselves and extend their lives.
So you do think it's a good idea to do it nationally then? You
Yeah,
do think
that's
what's
what he
good for
does.
New York City is good for the country? Yeah.
If you want a naked cowboy in your small rural town, you get one.
Oh
so
boy, that constituted an absolute riot compared to what the others had to say. My favorite question, and I mean this only from sort of a car crash perspective, not in terms of like probing or interesting, mottos and misperceptions at the end. What's the greatest misperception about you?
That was fun, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what's the greatest misperception about you, Dan?
Same thing as Amy Klobuchar. People think I'm boring, but I'm not. You know why I'm not? Because I said I'm not. And now I'm going to
Now you need to prove it.
And now I'm going to drone on for a minute talking about my
I'm
family.
not boring?
Yeah, to prove how unboring I am. Holy cow.
She rocks it at bake sales, man.
Bernie's biggest misconception, or the biggest misconception about Bernie.
Misconception.
Yes.
Misconception, and you're hearing it here tonight, is that the ideas I'm talking about are radical. They're not.
Yes.
In one form or another, they exist in countries all over the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And his motto is "Workers of the World Unite" or something. Verlon on the South Side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Did I hear Joe Biden name drop one of his good buddies from the 60s, Fritz Hollins? This guy just can't let it go. He's still hanging around and palling around with segregationists and racists. There's not one person on that stage that can beat Trump, but I do want Bernie to be the nominee because that'll be the true barometer to see if this country has went socialist or if it's still capitalist.
All right. Fritz Hollings, he lasted well into the 80s, maybe even 90s, didn't he, in the U.S. Senate? I mean, so he may have started out in the 1860s like Joe Biden did, but he lasted for a while. But yeah, of course, Biden's bona fides there, the time he spent there over the many, many years and many presidential campaigns. So that's sort of why he has a little bit of a home field advantage in South Carolina. The other thing that was just hysterical, unintentionally.
What?
6 old white people and the mannequin telling African Americans about racial justice, right? Talking all about.
Oh yeah, Mayor P was talking about it. And you're not judged because of the color of your skin. And
as a friend of mine observed, the Blackhawks put more diversity on the ice last night than the Democrats did on the debate stage.
Well, Joe Biden tried to touch he was one of the people talking about diversity in South Carolina.
The fact is, what we should be doing, we talked about the Supreme Court. I'm looking forward to making sure there's a black woman on the Supreme Court to make sure we, in fact, get every representation. Not a joke. Not a joke.
Why do you have to
I pushed very hard for that. And
Vice
my
President-
mother's motto was, she said, you're defined by your courage, you're redeemed by your loyalty. I am loyal. I do what I say.
What's the biggest misconception about you, sir?
Dope.
I have more hair than I think I do.
He's so like us. He's so one of us. Just like average man, old man losing their hair.
You know why he had to say this is not a joke? Because saying that I want to put somebody on the Supreme Court based on their gender and race is a joke. Oh, really? Black woman? Okay, how about Janice Rogers Brown? Anybody? Raise your hands.
Well, too bad Gayle King didn't do the follow-up question.
Right. When I heard Gayle King was moderating, I thought the debate was going to be between Snoop Dogg and Susan Rice, which would have been more interesting. Levi in Goose Island.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hey, I'm actually moving over to Lincoln Park, so you can change me. But anyway,
all right. Congratulations.
I was gonna. Hey, thanks, bro. Anyway, I was gonna say last night when I was watching the debate, everyone's message was getting like confusing between all the bantering back and forth
They were
and
talking over each other.
Yeah, you couldn't really understand anything, and I was kind of getting lost in like who stood for what. And it's funny because during all the noise with all the Republicans back in 2016 when Trump was running, it was a very clear message: make America great again. And that's all that you ever needed to think about. Anyone could interpret it however they wanted. It was very easy, very clear, and that's ultimately, I think, why he won and why he will win again. He'll win again because of a lot of other things, but he's got a clear message, and all these other candidates, these Democratic candidates, they don't have an actual clear message. Bernie has socialism, and Amy Klobuchar has shaky hair, and that's about it.
And not boring. Don't forget that. Thanks for the call, Levi.
He tried to. He didn't really bash Castro. He talked about Putin. Bernie did.
Hey, Mr. Putin, if I'm president of the United States, trust me, you're not going to interfere in any more American elections.
Randy in Lake Geneva.
Yeah, I was wondering why none of the presidential nominees asked Biden why he was there, because he was running for the Senate, right?
That's right. Yes, that's right. And thanks for the call. He had a good night for his U.S. Senate campaign, a mediocre night for president. Tom in Blue Island.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. This, again, is a carbon copy of 2016, just in the opposite direction. Just like Levi just said, there's no message. There's a clear message. It's socialism. Bernie Sanders stands for he's the anti-Trump. And it's bigger than just his candidacy. That's what people never understood about Trump. If Sanders doesn't win in South Carolina, he'll be close. And again, something I threw at you a few weeks ago, Dan, that this whole Biden campaign is all a diversion just so he doesn't get prosecuted after the fact. Bernie Sanders might even win South Carolina, but the idea that Bernie isn't going to be the candidate is ridiculous.
Thanks for the call, Tom.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is paid for by the Illinois Family Institute.
Addictive, high-potency marijuana will soon be legal in Illinois, making our homes, public spaces, workplaces, and roads less safe.
Ask your mayor, village trustees, aldermen, county board members to pass an ordinance prohibiting marijuana dispensaries and marijuana businesses in your community.
For more information, click Pot Opt Out at IllinoisFamily.org.
Encourage your local elected officials to limit drug trafficking by passing an ordinance banning marijuana dispensaries and marijuana businesses in your community.
The future of your community is at risk. Urge your local elected leaders to opt out of high-potency marijuana. Find out more at IllinoisFamily.org and click Pot Opt Out. Click Pot Opt Out at IllinoisFamily.org.
We're just over a few months into 2020. It seems like everyone is getting sick, from the common cold to the flu. And don't get me started about that coronavirus. And you know how you can stay healthy this year? You need to boost your immune system. And how can you do that? Well, sleep well and eat well. And that means getting enough fruits and veggies, which you have to admit you aren't doing on your own. And that's where Balance of Nature comes in. Just 6 capsules a day. You can take 3 at night, 3 in the morning, or take them all at the same time like I do. And with those 6 capsules, you're getting 10 servings of 31 fruits and veggies. Now, you hear stories on this station all the time about how people's lives have changed because of Balance of Nature. And guess what? The next story could be yours. I've been taking it again, and I love it. I haven't gotten sick since I started taking it again. Sleeping better at night, and I have more energy. But my immune system is better, and that's what's important right now. So get Balance of Nature. They're offering free shipping and 35% off any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today. Call 800-246-8751. 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or go to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
We're all aware of national dealers that sell gold and silver. But national dealers? It sounds so impersonal and far away. Guess what? Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is a national dealer, and they're right here in our backyard. With Fox Valley Coins close by, you won't have to relinquish your personal information and money through the mail and hope that you receive what you ordered in the next days, weeks, or months. Most of the time at Fox Valley Coins, you just walk in the store, pick out what you want, pay for it, and walk out the door. It can be that easy. And if you're interested in selling your rare collector coins or currency, Fox Valley Coins specialize in the rare ones. Buying and selling individual coins and currency, as well as all gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and rhodium in coin, bar, and scrap form. They'll even make house calls when appropriate. Fox Valley Coins is 1 light north of I-88 on Route 59 in Naperville. They're closed on Sundays and have been dealing with integrity since 1981. Check out foxvalleycoins.com. That's foxvalleycoins.com.
You're probably not thinking about back to school season right now. In fact, most parents with kids in school are more likely to be thinking about spring break. But now's the best time to think about where you'll be sending your son or daughter to school this fall. It's a big decision, and you may have felt like private school simply wasn't in the budget for your family. Well, think again. We want to tell you about halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find local private schools from all over Chicagoland, offering vouchers for a full year of tuition at half the price with no catch. Find a school near you, purchase the tuition voucher, prepare to send your child off to school this fall. It's that simple. Halfpriceschools.com is schools located across Chicagoland, including Westminster Christian in Elgin, Christian Liberty Academy in Arlington Heights, and Chicago Hope Academy on the near west side of the city. Make private school affordable for your family for the first time this year. These vouchers will sell out. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Senator Mike Braun briefs the country after getting a CDC brief on corona. We'll discuss at 5:38.
But now let's head straight into the newsroom. And you're back, Mike. We're so excited to see you.
Well, they let me back in.
They fixed your studio.
I had to unlock the door, and it's been a while. Take the dust off. 32 degrees and snow showers. Snowfall is a problem this morning. A messy commute around Chicagoland today. Winter weather advisory is in effect until 6 p.m. Many schools in northwest Indiana are on 2-hour delays because of heavy snow there, and there are several accidents. World stocks tumbling for a 5th straight day. The slide continues as dozens of countries take emergency measures to fight the coronavirus. CDC officials say a coronavirus outbreak in the U.S. does appear to be inevitable after closed-door briefings with lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Dr. Nancy Messner spoke with reporters on the Hill.
We expect we will see community spread in this country. It's not so much a question of if this will happen anymore, but rather more a question of exactly when this will happen and how many people in this country will have severe illness.
Messner says the outbreak has already peaked in China, but is urging other countries to prepare. Democrat front-runner Bernie Sanders found himself under attack from his rivals during last night's debate over his Medicare for All plan. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar.
In fact, just on 60 Minutes this weekend, he said he wasn't going to rattle through the nickels and the dimes. Well, let me tell you how many nickels and dimes we're talking about. Nearly $60 trillion.
Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Bernie and I both want to see universal health care, but Bernie's plan doesn't explain how to get there, doesn't show how we're going to get enough allies into it, and doesn't show enough about how we're going to pay for it.
Former South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg says Sanders' plan adds up to 4 more years of President Trump. A California mom and heiress to the Hot Pockets fortune is going to prison for 5 months in the college cheating scandal. She's the latest parent to be sentenced in Boston. Jimmy John's removing Sprouts from its restaurants after getting a federal warning about contaminated food. The FDA sent the sandwich chain a letter saying it's been using vegetables linked to E. coli and salmonella. Authorities investigating this morning after a body was recovered from the Chicago River on the west side. Police say an unidentified man was found in the river yesterday in the 2200 block of South Lumber. A woman is dead, 4 others wounded after another Chicago mass shooting. It happened inside a convenience store on Chicago's south side last night after 3 males got out of a car at 79th and Avalon and peered into the windows of Ali's Mini Mart and then began shooting.
After firing almost 20 rounds into the store, the 3 suspects entered a vehicle and fled.
The gunman sped off in a white vehicle. No arrests have been made. The grandfather of that South Bend, Indiana girl who died on a cruise ship in Puerto Rico last year is agreeing to a plea deal. Sam Anello's lawyers yesterday agreed to plead guilty to negligent homicide charges in 18-month-old Chloe Wigan's death. Anello said Chloe fell out of that window of the ship when they were docked. His lawyers say the plea deal comes with no jail time, no admission of facts, and Anello will serve probation in Indiana. Blues score 4 times in the third in a 6-5 come-from-behind win over the Blackhawks in St. Louis. Thunder over the Bulls, 124-122. College hoops last night, our Northern Illinois Huskies edge Eastern Michigan on a crazy last-second end-to-end three-pointer, 73-71. Loyola wins their 20th, beating Drake 64-60. 5:34, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity can't believe we are where we are.
It's just every question is answered. This was so frustrating to me. Watching all of this shift show, how is it even possible we are here? How is this possible? Especially knowing all that we know. It shouldn't be.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hey all, this is Jim Carr, co-host of the #1 rated manufacturing podcast, Making Chips, and a customer of Signature Bank. If you're a crazy busy company owner like me, you know that success in business is all about relationships. While many banks call themselves a relationship bank, Signature knows how to do it right. They made the banking relationship easy and on my timeline. Their technology, coupled with the attention from my personal banker, made the transaction as effortless and seamless as possible. Much thanks to Signature Bank for supporting Car Machine and Tool when we needed it most. Bam.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you have pain, I hope you listen up. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all control the side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you could be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it is a fit for you.
5:37, and in the Team Hochberg Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Traffic is moving well right now on most of the expressways and tollways. Despite the conditions this morning, we do see some congestion on the inbound Bishop Ford Freeway with mild delays from 103rd to the merge. Looking at about a 2 or 3 minute delay right now. I-57 still good. The ride's okay. Traffic's getting a little bit congested approaching downtown Chicago. We see no significant delays on the Edens, Kennedy, or the Eisenhower. Stevens, traffic starting to build around Cicero, but no real backup there yet. The tollways are fine in northwest Indiana. South Shoreline trains not running between Carroll Avenue and Michigan City, and the South Bend Airport shuttle bus is running instead, so leave extra travel time there. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Bit of snow. In fact, snow over much of the state right now, from Wisconsin state line all the way down to Mount Vernon. There's snow this morning. Storm totals for the Chicago area, 1 to 3 inches and a high of 33. 32 at O'Hare, 30 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So you going to sell on the drums? You know the old Wall Street adage: sell on the trumpets, buy on the drums. You're going to sell on the drums. The market's lost about 6.5% over the last 2 days because of hysteria and people whipped into a frenzy over the impact of coronavirus on international trade and global supply chains, and of course the American economy. The economy is in the West now, and so a huge sell-off that looks like it may continue today. What do you think? Are you starting to feed into the hysteria? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Pick the economic hysteria or the health hysteria, your choice. Mike Braun, senator from Indiana, went on with Neil Cavuto yesterday after he and other senators on the Hill had been briefed by the CDC. He had this to say.
So I was there and I was impressed. The CDC, the FDA, National Institute of Health, across the board, I think we've got the infrastructure and we are prepared. And I know that Chuck Schumer's been doing the Schumer shuffle on trying to say otherwise, and I think that is sad because it's not the case. We know it's been explosive, and a place like China that does not have the infrastructure wasn't prepared for that kind of outbreak. You could see that by how they were scrambling to contain it. And I think here it's much different. We are going to be as globally interacted as any place, and for so few cases. And plus, we've got the facilities, we've got the technology, we've got the ways of treating it. We can't take it lightly, but I don't like it when Schumer is out there saying that we're ill-prepared and with no good reason to say that. I think we are ready, and it remains to be seen.
It was interesting because the issue of the coronavirus and the federal response didn't even make it into the conversation in last night's debate until well into the second hour.
Yeah, I noticed that. I thought that would be a top-of-mind question because, you know, you want to protect Americans if you're president. But when did Larry Kudlow become a doctor? Because he had some words to say about the coronavirus and that Don't worry, folks. We have it all. This is all under control.
We have contained this. I won't say airtight, but pretty close to airtight.
Well, he doesn't have to be a doctor. He can talk to doctors.
Okay, but the CDC, Dr. Nancy Messonnier, who we had on Monday, not had on, but I brought you because I sat in that CDC teleconference. She said yesterday, this is going to, it's not if, but it is when.
We expect we will see community spread in this country. It's not so much a question of if this will happen anymore, but rather more a question of exactly when this will happen and how many people in this country will have severe illness.
That's a big question, the how many, when, and how many.
So in South Korea, it's been spreading like gangbusters. Now 1,000 people have it. We even have one of our servicemen, stationed at a base there. He's contracted it. 10 deaths so far. But that happened. That escalated quickly, the last 3 days? So 80,000 people in the world have it. 3,000 people have died so far. It is coming. And what she said, too, yesterday, she said, it is better to be prepared than not to be prepared. We're asking the American public to work with us, to prepare in the expectation that this could be bad. I continue to hope that in the end we'll look back and feel that we were over-prepared, but that is a better place to be than being underprepared. And she's talking about schools closing, and she's talking about large social gatherings that may have to be canceled. Mm-hmm. So be prepared. Or having a freshman class come one day, sophomore, so that we're not intermixing a lot of students at the same time.
And despite the lethargic response, the World Health officials also suggesting that the incident of coronavirus spreading in China peaked in late January and seems to be on the decline.
I hope that's true. Well, I don't believe any of the numbers coming out of China, but I do.
Well, it's not a number. It's a question of what's the trajectory of the spread. And it's not China saying it, it's World Health officials saying it. But, okay,
no,
perhaps. Yeah. So.
Mitt Romney was also at that meeting in Blumenthal, excuse me.
Approach right now seems to be.
Excuse me.
We want people to be ready.
I lost it.
Okay. There's some other news. Dick Pound, the great Olympic swimmer, who's a member of the IOC, said they got about a 3-month window to decide on whether or not they're going to postpone the Summer Games in Tokyo. So that's a pending issue. San Francisco declared a local emergency yesterday, even though there's no identified cases of the virus. This is, again, preventative. Delta scraps cancellation fees for Italy flights because of outbreak. U.S. health officials also saying, this is important news on the treatment side, human trials on corona vaccine to start in 6 weeks. That's Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Diseases within HHS. And FDA is monitoring the market for potential drug shortages, fraudulent treatment claims. This is all, kind of real-time, hour-by-hour reporting yesterday. FDA, as we talked about yesterday, and CDC should also be working to eliminate the bottlenecks, which is them, when it comes to lab-developed testing, as Scott Gottlieb, the former director of the FDA, medical doctor, suggested yesterday, so that identification can happen faster and it's not all funneled to the CDC, which right now has 36 to 48-hour turnaround times with test results. Right. And obviously, if there was a real outbreak in this country, that turnaround time would increase exponentially. So get other health professionals involved. That's a good idea.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. Did you hear the Iranian deputy health minister? He has it, and he was coughing all over the anchor during his interview. Wiping his brow and later just went into a complete coughing rage. I'm sure she's going to get the virus. She'll be the next to get it, but that's
thankfully in this country we have NyQuil. Joe in Burlington, Wisconsin.
Yeah, good morning. I just not that I just totally distrust that woman Messonnier, but I found it interesting that she's the brother of Rod Rosenstein.
That is interesting.
Anything that these. Pardon me?
Yeah, that is interesting. It's a small world in D.C., isn't it?
Yeah, right. And I just don't trust them not to throw any type of shade they can on instilling the seed of thought that the Trump administration is not capable of handling a situation like this. Also, the Chinese government and the Chinese system obviously is communist, socialist, and it's funny how these terrible outbreaks are in authoritarian countries. Where in the United States, where we have free markets and a good healthcare system that they constantly want to overturn, we don't have this issue right now. That's all.
Yeah, thanks for the call. Yeah, I mean, that was sort of the hysterics that you heard from on the debate stage last night in South Carolina and Charleston from the Democrat Socialists. Was all about not spending enough money. Of course, it's always a money problem.
Right.
It's not $2.5 billion. It should be $3 billion or $4 billion or whatever. Just darts at a board. Number one. Number two is like, oh, he defunded this and he's defunded that, and we don't have healthcare professionals that we need, and so on and so forth. That doesn't seem to be really in evidence here. So, yeah, it's looking to score cheap political points by just reciting cut and paste bromides for, X crisis. That's what you had last night. Not much in the way of light. Right. And frankly, not much, I don't think, in the way of persuasion either. Just, orange man bad kind of arguments. Craig in Mount Greenwood.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Tell you, I dabble in stocks, and this is the kind of opportunity I always look forward to, man. This is a nice, great, big fire sale in that, and beginning Monday and yesterday, and I'll do it again today. And I'm buying every day and everything. But the trick is, in this environment, you buy some good dividend stocks. So I'm buying dividend stocks, and while I wait for them to go back up, I'm collecting my dividends.
All right. Thanks for the call, Craig. That's financial advice. Yeah, when there's blood in the streets or coronavirus in the streets. There's actually a decent piece in the Washington Post. Columnist there, Michelle Singletary, talked to some, financial professionals, certified financial planners, and public accountants. What their reaction is, just to get a flavor for this, about staying in or jumping out, taking your gains and getting out of the market, going to cash or some other investment instrument. And, basically say, look, don't panic. I mean, the fundamentals haven't changed. You have this exogenous event, the coronavirus. We have seen, shedding like this over the last it's been about 2 years, but we have seen shedding like this. Market corrections, as a matter of business cycle, of 10 to 15% aren't unusual. So to lose 6.5% on this sort of run, largely driven by hysteria, and also people wanting to take the gains they've realized, and we're looking for a reason to get out to just enjoy the gains. I don't know that I'm going to join the run either. I think I'm going to wait for a time. I'm holding my position, and I'm going to wait for the time to push a little bit more money in.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, the fundamentals of our economy are good. There is concern about supply chain.
Yeah, that's very concerning.
Tyler Cohen.
We'll get more products. You'll realize how much stuff is made in China and sold over here.
Yeah, we have a long way to go.
Yeah.
Tyler Cohen, economist for George Mason University, wrote a piece on this, though, about virus, how fast a virus can destroy a supply chain, and that supply chains are not indestructible, but, by their very nature, they're interconnected, and thus, if you have a problem getting circuit components for an iPhone, it doesn't make much sense to have the glass screens at the ready, and so on and so forth. So they can break down. But he also writes, after delivering, what the possible downside is, possible worst-case scenarios. So far, the best bet is that the current international supply chains will hold for the most part and deliver the goods. But the chance they will not is rising, as both the trade war and coronavirus, particularly the latter, strengthen the hand of those who advocate for more dismantling of international trade networks, more of that autarky we talked a little bit about yesterday, is that we have all our supply chains located within the boundaries of the United States rather than being reliant for them to be spread throughout the globe.
And China's saying it's getting, it's tapering off now. They had this is reporting last night at 9:45, 406 new cases, 52 new deaths, 10 people dead in Italy, 322 new cases in Italy. And it's in 5 European countries, so it is coming here. What are you doing to protect yourself and your family?
What are you?
Are you going to be ready?
What are you doing?
Well, I've stockpiled to the ceiling.
Yeah.
I've got the arms ready in case people come and try to steal my food. They're not getting in my house. And, everything's going to change. People aren't going to be going to the gyms. People are not going to be in public settings. No more proms, lady. I'm sorry. And I hope I'm wrong, and I hope this just is a bad dream, but I have a bad feeling about this.
Uh-huh. Well,
so get your canned goods, stockpile.
Right. That's insane.
Okay.
And that's not going to happen.
Bunky, I'm stockpiling for Bunky, too. Don't forget about your animals.
Mm-hmm. And the grocery stores this is not going to be nuclear winter. This is not going to be the zombie apocalypse.
There's going to be looting.
There's not going to be looting. That's also not going to happen.
They're going to shut down O'Hare Airport.
They're not shutting down the airports. We're not going to commit economic suicide in the face of the flu.
Okay.
That's what will not happen.
I will tell you this. They just should start arresting people who cough and don't cover their mouths. And if they're sick, they should get a mask. That's real simple. That's just common courtesy because we're living in a different time now. So when I see people hacking at the gym, it's like, go home. What are you doing here?
We're also not.
I want to call the police and get them arrested.
Right. We're not going to institute martial law. That's not going to happen either. Any other apocalyptic thoughts you want to share, AOC?
I'm worried their government's going to come door to door and take our temperature.
Government is not going to, anally penetrate anybody either.
Or come with the thermometer.
That's what I mean. Yeah. But I mean to get the, real temperature. That's also not going to happen. Mike in Griffith, Indiana.
Amy, are you okay? Did you fall off the top bunk bed today without the helmet, or what's up? 'Cause I got to tell you, listen, China is a third world country. They eat dirt.
I know, but Italy isn't. Italy is not. We're paying for the sins of a culture where they eat wild game, and now we're losing tens of thousands of dollars in the stock market.
Wild game here.
Well, we don't eat.
Amy, they pee in the streets of Venice. Okay, that's what they do.
Oh, so you're saying the Italians brought this upon themselves?
Oh boy,
they're a second and a half world country. Okay, we're the United States of America, where we spend billions every single hour on our healthcare system. You want to know why? Because it's the best and the safest in the world. This virus started in Japan like 8 months ago. They've lost like 30,000 people because they lie. We're going to be
started in China, and they haven't lost 30,000 according to reports.
They've lost 3,000.
Yeah, not even.
They've easily lost over 30,000 people. They've got a satellite picture showing the burning of the body.
Yeah,
okay.
I've seen all of that.
Okay.
But Amy, please go to your Walmart today, folks. Get all the goods you want. Take it easy. Relax. Go to every public venue there is. Just sneeze into your T-shirt. You're good.
Thank you for the call, Mike.
No, we should arrest people who cough and do not cover their mouths. Or give them a citation. No, we have red light cameras.
Citation like a key to the city?
No, I'm sorry, a ticket. Ticket them.
Oh, that is also not going to happen.
We're all gonna die! Run! The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
What would you do if you knew there was a place to learn step-by-step strategies designed to help you make the right moves inside the financial markets? A place to develop skills that can help you generate income and build confidence toward your retirement goals. At Online Trading Academy, we know there's an investor in all of us, and we know how to teach people just like you the skills and knowledge that could empower you to take better control of your financial future. Start by taking our free introductory class at a location near you. Learn about the biggest mistakes investors make and how you can learn to avoid them. Plus, you'll learn strategies that could help you make your money work harder for you. For over 20 years, Online Trading Academy has been teaching students skills designed to help them learn to invest with the confidence of the pros.
Call 844-778-7132 for 2 free tickets to a class in your area and receive our Professional Insiders Kit with lessons from our top instructors just for attending. That's 844-778-7132. 844-778-7132 or visit otaclass.com.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
If you've been in business more than 20 minutes, you've probably printed your logo on all kinds of promotional products. We all know logos work because they're on everything from the top of skyscrapers to the bottom of shoes. Ever wondered why? Or how to best use your logo to grow your business? Let us show you today for free. We're 4imprint, promotional product experts at your service. We're giving away the latest issue of Amplify, the digital magazine that reveals promotional product success stories absolutely free to everyone who texts BOOST to 88988. At 4imprint, we make your logo look perfect on thousands of promotional items. With our 100% guarantee, it'll be right the first time, on time, every time. Your free e-magazine will reveal invaluable insights that can attract new customers, build your brand, and grow your business. Get the latest issue of Amplify absolutely free by texting BOOST to 88988. That's BOOST to 88988.
The auto show is here, and that means the lowest prices of the year at Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream. Saving you money, real money, as in thousands of dollars, is what we're all about. If you're ready for a new or certified pre-owned used vehicle, now is the time to come into Joe Cotton Ford. Our auto show specials will prove that to you. Like 0% for 66 months on select 2020 Explorers plus $4,500 rebate, or 0% for 72 months on 2019 F-150s, or 0% for 66 months on 2020 Escapes plus $2,500 rebate. Come see why we're Chicagoland's best Ford buying experience. It's our promise to you. We'll treat you great and save you money. From 3 generations of our family to yours, for 45 years, you have our word on it. At Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream, or at joecottonford.com.
To qualifying buyers plus tax, title, license, and dealer fees through 2/28/20. See dealer for details. joecottonford.com.
This is Albert Mohler for Townhall.com. A story coming out of Connecticut reveals one of the most inevitable collisions on the current cultural landscape. The policymaking panel for interscholastic sports in Connecticut says a high school student must be able to compete according to the student's declared gender identity. The parents of 3 female track athletes are now suing in federal court, charging that allowing biological males to compete as females destroys the very idea of female athletic competition. The attorney with the Alliance Defending Freedom said, quote, forcing girls to be spectators in their own sports is completely at odds with Title IX, a federal law designed to create equal opportunities for women in education and athletics. Connecticut's policy violates that law and reverses nearly 50 years of advances for women, end quote. Well, that's an inevitable collision. The current policy is an attempt to try to posit moral autonomy, one's stated gender identity, over biological creational reality.
Publicpolicy.pepperdine.edu. AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy on the 6 o'clock hour, we're going to do a little experiment in here. I'm going to lick the surface of every of the counters and stuff in the studio and see how Amy reacts.
I've just wiped it all down.
And Justin, Sunhua, the Chinese barbecue place, great duck. On North Broadway, just around the Green Mill. That's on me for lunch today, too. Let's fire that up.
Gross. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll return to the debate stage in South Carolina at 6:06.
But now let's head straight into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
A woman killed, 4 people wounded in a Southside mass shooting. Blues rally to beat the Blackhawks last night while the Thunder topped the Bulls. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
7 Democrats arguing over one spotlight. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
First of all, Bernie, let me go.
And we would like to allow
the moderator, guys.
Senator Sanders.
Moderator, is my turn.
Bernie Sanders found himself under attack.
I don't like his solutions. Bernie, in fact, hasn't passed much of anything.
Tom Steyer and Joe Biden there. One big argument over Sanders' Medicare for All plan. He says will lower health care costs.
And save 68,000 lives of people who otherwise would have died.
But when asked in the CBS News debate how he'll pay for it, Sanders replied, do you have 2 hours? Pete Buttigieg countered.
It doesn't take 2 hours to do the math, because let's talk about what it adds up to. Let's talk about math indeed. Okay, so here's the math. It adds up to 4 more years of Donald Trump.
They clashed in South Carolina ahead of Saturday's primary. Sanders had won Nevada and New Hampshire going into it. A U.S. soldier is now a coronavirus patient in South Korea, isolated in his home off base. He's among more than 1,200 cases in that country. country. Iran has the most deaths of anywhere outside China, up to 19, but its president's not interested in quarantining areas like in China. The coronavirus will spread in the U.S. That's what a CDC director is saying. The only question, she says, is when and how many will get infected. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the White House sent a $2.5 billion request to Congress last night to deal with the virus. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the administration's response is insufficient.
We need this administration to put together a comprehensive plan. We need certainly adequate funding.
Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, who's a doctor, says the Trump administration is on top of things.
They're adapting as they need to, trying to allocate resources where they can be most effective.
Democrats are upset the request only contains $1.25 billion in new funding, the rest being reallocated. Dave?
America's listening to Fox News.
Snowfall, 32 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. That snowfall is causing a messy morning commute around Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. Many schools in Northwest Indiana are on 2-hour delays because of heavy snow there. Several accidents as well on those Northwest Indiana highways. Authorities are investigating after a body was recovered from the Chicago River on the west side. Police say an unidentified man was found dead in the river yesterday in the 2200 block of South Lumber. There is an autopsy scheduled for today. A woman is dead, 4 others wounded after another Chicago mass shooting. It happened at 79th and Avalon last night, as shooters came out of a car and shot into the windows of Ali's Mini Mart.
After firing almost 20 rounds into the store, the 3 suspects entered a vehicle and fled.
An 18-year-old woman died after being shot in the neck. Another 18-year-old woman was wounded in the back, remains in critical condition. 3 others in stable condition. There have been no arrests. Top administrators fired from Chicago's Lincoln Park High School are suing CPS in federal court. Former interim principal John Thuet and assistant principal Michelle Brumfield filed suit yesterday, claiming they were defamed by the district and are unable to find another job. Drivers in Indiana will very soon likely have to put down those cell phones. The Indiana Senate yesterday approving a hands-free cell phone ban. The idea is to have drivers who use their speakerphone or Bluetooth while behind the wheel. Indiana House has already approved a version of the plan, but they have to vote again because senators tweaked that bill just a bit. Blues score 4 times in the third in a comeback win over the Blackhawks, 6-5. Thunder over the Bulls, 124-122, in spite of 41 from Zach LaVine, 35 from Kobe White. Cubs fell to the Rockies. White Sox split a pair of games. College hoops, last night DePaul fell at Xavier, and how about Wake Forest? Stunning number 7 Duke last night in double overtime, 113-101. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager believes you need to follow the money.
For a scientist now to say anything that is any way different from the world is coming to an end is not only to court the end of your career, but it is to receive no funds. The money, man, the billions are in hysteria.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
What gives one company the edge over another? Maybe it's not one thing. Maybe it's taking care of lots of things that help a business run smoothly. In other words, Cintas. Cintas has products that help your people stay safe and apparel programs that convey the right image. They service fire protection equipment, deliver and stock restroom supplies, and make sure facilities are clean and ready. Because when all those things work together, you're in business.
Oh, I'm ready!
Get Cintas and get ready for the workday.
This is the Frells family. They live on a piece of land they call greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
A business needs to be built on a great foundation,
one with the framework of integrity and tradition. Chapel Design Build delivers just that, providing design build and general contracting services using Butler Steel Building Systems. Their projects dot the landscape from O'Hare to DeKalb. You see their work in office and warehouse additions, recreational facilities, large-scale distribution centers, and manufacturing plants all over northern Illinois. Partnering with Butler Steel Buildings, Chapel Design Build has developed an extensive subcontractor base and valuable market knowledge to get your quality-built project completed on time and on budget, ensuring your project is a success for your business and one that you will be proud of for years to come. The goal is to build lasting relationships with their clients using buildings that last from Butler. Get started on your next building project built with Butler Steel. Visit chapeldb.com. That's Chapel D as in design, B as in build.com.
Now some better news brought to you by Canada Dry. Traffic's the worst, so grab a can of Canada Dry Ginger Ale and imagine instead you're gently floating through the cosmos on a soft, comfy recliner. Next time, relax with the real ginger taste of Canada Dry.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
It is 6:07 in the Team Hochberg Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
The wintry weather is affecting the commute this Wednesday morning, but not in a big way. Most of the expressways and tollways are in pretty good shape. We do see some congestion on the inbound Kennedy past Cumberland, also between Chicago Avenue and Ohio. We're looking at about 23 minutes, O'Hare to downtown and outbound 21. The Edens is looking good. Inbound Eisenhower. Delays start past Manheim. 34 minutes, 390 to downtown. Inbound Stevenson. In 36 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, with scattered delays, is 22 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes, 90 to the merge. Bishopford, 19. Northwest Indiana's okay. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. In our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
A winter weather advisory this morning. A bit of snow. Could see a coating to an inch today, high 33. Clouds and breezy this evening, low down to 20. Clouds tomorrow morning, sun for the afternoon, the high tomorrow, 32. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
29 at O'Hare, 30 along the lakefront. Next news at 6:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Staples has a huge selection of printers at low prices. This week, all HP printers are on sale with savings up to $150. Staples, there's a whole lot more in store. Offer ends 2/29/20 while supplies last. See store staples.com/HP Week for details. Staples.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. And last night's Dem Socialist debate in Charleston, did it change the essential direction of the race? No, I don't think so. I think Bernie Sanders finally did what I said he should do, knowing that they were going to come after him. The whole thing was the Bolshevik versus the Mensheviks, right? And you knew they were going to do their hand-wringing about socialism and about his electability as connected to being a socialist. And I suggested prior to the debate that he take the opportunity to turn it right back on them. What don't you support? Insert candidate name. What don't you support? Do you not support free college? Do you not support college debt cancellation? Do you not support free child care, 0 to 4?
Universal health care.
And Medicare for all, right? Do you not support Green New Deal? Do you not support tax hikes? Do you not support wage minimums? Because the point is, and it was again presented on that debate stage, is that everybody on the debate stage is starting from the Bolsheviks' premises. The only difference is pace, not destination. So I'm for free college, or free college with some thresholds, or some debt cancellation with some income thresholds. They're all starting from his premise. he wants to do frontal assaults, government takeovers, and some of them want to do some frontal assaults and some backdoor takeovers of various sectors that Bernie wants to take over straight away as part of his political revolution. So the play that he finally made in this exchange with Mannequin Pete exposes their posturing and defangs the charge of extremism against him, which is what he said at the end about the whole misperception about him, is that his positions are extreme. Compared to those on the stage, they're not. They're not. And so this exchange between the mannequin Menshevik, and the Bolshevik.
And they're certainly not going to win by reliving the Cold War. And we're not going to win these critical House and Senate races if people in those races have to explain why the nominee of the Democratic Party is telling people to look at the bright side of the Castro regime. We've got to be a lot smarter about this and look to the future.
Senator Sanders, your response.
Let us be clear. Do we think health care for all, Pete, is some kind of radical communist idea? Do we think raising the minimum wage to a living wage? Do we think building the millions of units of affordable housing that we need? Do we think raising taxes on billionaires is a radical idea?
Let's talk about what's radical about that plan.
Reform
Senator,
is a radical idea.
The things you just named.
Do we think immigration reform? The truth is, Pete, that the American people support my agenda. That is why I am beating Trump in virtually every poll that has done, and why I will defeat him.
We got to open this up.
Despite Mannequin Pete trying to talk over Sanders, he made the point. He made the point. The way you're talking about them, the pace at which you want to go in some areas, that's what's radical. Well, let me tell you something. That is really parsing those proposals, isn't it? And it was Elizabeth Warren auditioning to be Bernie's vice president who essentially backed the play straight away with some minor tweaking on her plan for the government takeover of health care versus his. But they're all starting from the same premise. And I don't know why we allow the D.C. press corps and a couple of these hucksters on stage to get away with pretending that they're not, pretending there are moderates in this field. There's the Bolshevik, and then there are the 6 Mensheviks. That's the field. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
And last night, because 60% of the registered Democrats are African American in one county, and so they were placating to the African American.
Pandering, I think is the word.
Yeah, and it was insufferable. Listen, and then the audience didn't even like it.
I believe I'm the only person on this stage who believes in reparations for slavery. Something happened. We should have a formal commission on race to retell the story of the last 400 plus years in America of African Americans, of systematic legal injustice, discrimination, and cruelty, but also of 400 plus years of contribution in terms of building the United States of America and leading the United States of America from a moral standpoint.
And that, Biden saying he wants to put a African-American female on the Supreme Court.
Yeah, thank God for white socialists, right, black Americans? Because you have no agency. And you didn't have much representation on that stage, even really ideologically. I mean, the pandering, I know that appeals to some. It appeals to a lot of white socialists, and it appeals to some black Americans. But do you understand what they're saying? I say this again. Do you understand they're saying, you can do nothing without us? And let me tell you something. The moderators need to be as fact-checked as much as the candidates. That the dude from 60 Minutes, Whitlock? Or what's his name? No.
Bill.
Something like that. I don't know. I don't pay attention to him. But any of them. The whole, black people make 73 cents on the dollar of the white person or the black man does compared to the white man, and X number of times more likely to be incarcerated, and so on and so forth. That is such a fallacious question? Here's the question if you want to really press people and get some answers, is go to the premises from which they start. So, for example, were I a moderator there, and I would do the same thing if it were Republican candidates, different premise that I would go to. Let's see who's really got the chops here. Isn't that the purpose of the debate?
Mm-hmm.
This just in, candidates. Department of Justice filed a brief in the federal lawsuit filed by Students for Fair Admissions. Justice Department saying Harvard University's race-based admissions process violates federal law, and arguing in the brief, almost half of all black and Hispanics who attend Harvard were admitted because of illegal, as in under the law, illegal, racial preferences in admissions. So what about that? Do you have concerns about this idea that we're going to forever use race as a qualifier on our path to a colorblind society, or do you not believe in a colorblind society? What about using race illegally to benefit some at the expense of others? Is that something you support? Be specific. That would be a more interesting conversation on something substantive rather than just the generic bon mots of I'm against racism. No, I'm more against racism because I'm for reparations. And no, I'm more against racism because I'm for reparations and I want to rewrite American history like the 1619 Project. What a banal conversation and an insulting one. I say again, do you understand, black Americans? Share this with your friends, black, white, or other, that they are saying you have no agency. You can do nothing without the white socialist. Tell me that is not a definition of white supremacy. And much more so, the soft bigotry of low expectations, that's putting a veneer on it. It's white supremacy. You're nothing without me because of your race. That's what they're saying.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
Bob on the highway. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Great points you just made, Dan, on how they should really run these things. I can't watch too much of the debates, but one, you really shouldn't call Mayor Pete Mannequin. He's more of a boy, Quinn. And 3 suggestions for the debates maybe going forward. Get rid of the studio audience. And if you go over your minute and a half, have somebody cut the mic off.
Yeah.
And if you raise your hand, your podium gets turned on. It's like the light goes off and you're dark for 5 minutes. It's just watching this. It's just so chaotic. But you guys do a great job. Great show. Thank you.
Thanks for the call. I think you put them in like the
what do you think?
The soundproof quiz show booths.
Oh, really? So they can't?
Yeah. So that you can just cut them, and then no matter how much they scream, even if they don't have a mic, you can't hear them.
But I gotta
and then it
tell
starts
you.
to slowly fill with water.
Oh,
if you
we used to,
continue
or snakes.
Yeah, I like that.
But Biden, I thought he maintained, his front runner status in South Carolina because he was awake. He actually showed up. He was there, not just physically but mentally, and was trying to get his time and fought for his time. So.
Yeah, he only had.
And the crowd loved him.
He
only paid to be in the audience.
And he let's see, he said that since 2007, there's been 150 million gun deaths in this country.
Yeah, where did he get that number?
I don't know. He made it up. 150 million in the last 10 years. He also said that arguing about Bernie on dictators.
Yeah.
Bernie's response. Bernie's response was, a recitation of his, hey, we should congratulate dictators when they do great things, like.
And Obama agrees with me too.
Right, and so this was Biden on, excoriating Bernie for being complimentary authoritarian, something Obama never did.
He acknowledged that they did increase life expectancy, but he went on and condemned the dictatorship. He went on and condemned the people who, in fact, had run that committee. He also made sure to make it clear, and by the way, I called to make sure that I was prepared to, I never say in my private conversation with him, but the fact of the matter is, he, in fact, has never embraced an authoritarian regime and does not now.
At this challenging time of President Hugo Chavez's passing, the United States reaffirms its support for the Venezuelan people and its interest in developing a constructive relationship with the Venezuelan government. As Venezuela begins a new chapter in its history, the United States remains committed to policies that promote democratic principles, the rule of law, and respect for human rights. Barack Obama's statement on the passing of Hugo Chavez, the dictator of Venezuela. Did he say dictator bad anywhere? No. Even
never embraced a dictator.
Even never Trumper faux conservative Jennifer Rubin at the Washington Post called his statement atrocious. In point of fact, that is a lie. It has to go unchallenged because nobody wants to criticize Obama. But that is what Joe Biden said is not true. Just as he wasn't in prison trying to see Nelson Mandela, just as all the other fantastical lies Joe Biden has told over the last 30 years. He is a disgraceful human being. I can't say that enough because we don't have much longer to enjoy Joe Biden. Because I want to make sure that you spread the word. This is not, he's an affable, nice guy, and he's got the veneers and the nice smile, Scranton Joe. This individual, the only thing he has accomplished in 3 decades on the public dole is leveraging his public office to enrich his family. He's a disgrace. He's a pathological fabulist, and he is a room temperature intellect at best. So go ahead. Keep him in the race. Go ahead. Nominate him. He's been my candidate for Trump from the beginning. It's not going to happen for us, unfortunately.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line.
Lucas and Joliet.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment, Dan. Thanks for sharing all those clips of those debates. It makes my head hurt listening to these facts that, well, they're not facts, but this hubbub about not raising taxes, but yet they want Medicare for all. I mean, all the clips between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, it makes my head hurt. I don't understand their logic. I really don't.
That's all lies to get reelected.
Thanks for the call, Lucas.
Who doesn't like free stuff? But did anybody even ask Bernie after his disgusting and horrible 60 Minutes interview how he's going to pay for all this free stuff?
Well, the whole idea, again,
didn't even know.
Nobody on that stage knows how to pay for anything. They don't care. The idea that you're going to have a conversation between 6 Mensheviks and a Bolshevik about how to pay for stuff, it is without point. When they tried to do that, it was like 60 trillion. No, mine's 45 trillion. You said yours was 50 trillion, and then before that you said it was. These are magical numbers to go along with their magical thinking. This is insane. Talking about how you're gonna. I'm a fiscal conservative. Maybe clubs are fiscal conservative. I support a private option with my backdoor takeover of government. My backdoor takeover of healthcare and this, all of this stuff. Bernie Sanders is talking about minimum. This gets
minimum wage of
no
$15.
attention. No,
and then he's going to
minimum salary for teachers of $60,000. Minimum salary for teachers of $60,000 nationally. That's the average salary right now. The average starting salary is $40,000. But it also starts from the false premise that the problem with getting good teachers and getting good teachers to stay is strictly a one of salary, and we know that's not the case. But it doesn't matter. They don't care. They don't care about how to pay for anything, and they don't care about the truth. They care about a sentimental barbaristic agenda. That's the pathway to power. That's what they care about.
And on a real quick light note, Amy Klobuchar, when they asked what's the biggest misconception about you, it reminded me of you, Dan.
The biggest misconception is that I'm boring, because I'm not. I would say that my motto is the words of one of my political mentors, Paul Wellstone, who said...
Socialist, by the way.
I know.
Ironically. She's the
I
only,
used to be an English teacher here.
She congratulated herself for being the only one to raise her hand last debate and say, I have a problem with the socialists being ahead of our ticket. And then she quotes Paul Wellstone. I mean, you know what I'm talking about with these people? By the way, what things boring people. I feel like I'm on a $100,000 pyramid. I'm not boring. Things boring people say. Tom in Deer Park.
Yeah, Dan, I really appreciate your analogy of the Bolsheviks and the Mensheviks. And what frightens me is my basic understanding of human nature, how that played out over the course of maybe a decade or 20 years in the early 1900s. But things come at you fast now. And with the Bernie presidency, I can just see the left and center-left media just rolling left, much like the media did on the right, and the rest of the people go along with it. So I like your analogy. It scares the bejeebers out of me.
All right, thanks, Tom. Chip in St. Charles.
I'm listening to the moderators and their loaded questions last night. I was thinking to myself, how does Trump debate these people? Because it's like having a wrestling match, and the referee is on your opponent's side. I don't know how he can do it.
He's gonna he will blow right through the moderator. He'll go right after Bernie Sanders, whoever their nominee is. He'll ignore the question. He'll ignore the premise. No, he's going to be. I mean, that's the great thing about Trump. One of the great things about him, always on offense. There's no way he's going to get backed down by, Margaret Brennan or anybody else on who may be moderating a debate. That's not going to happen. Thanks, Chip.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
When you're diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, a lot of questions run through your mind. What am I going to do? What are my options? What did I do wrong? We've had those thoughts too. But some questions can help you move forward. Visit findyourmbcvoice.com for an interactive guide to help you learn the next steps to take after an MBC diagnosis. And how to ask the questions that lead to an open and informed conversation with your doctor. Start finding your voice today at findyourmbcvoice.com.
Doesn't it seem like things are always getting more expensive? Groceries, the rent, even utilities. Cost of living is up, but Allstate can help lower your cost of driving. With new lower auto rates in Illinois, you get the same high-quality coverage and hands-on expertise from a local Allstate agent. Now, with new lower rates, you're in good hands with Allstate.
If you haven't quoted Allstate lately, it's the perfect time. Get a quote today. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Savings vary.
In about an hour, I'm going to do it. Take my Balance of Nature. I take hot water and break open the capsules. Coats my throat. I've been feeling better, more energetic, sleeping better at night too since taking Balance of Nature, and no more leg cramps either. And with Balance of Nature, you're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies, and it's so important right now to keep your immune system up. And a way to do that is by getting enough sleep and eating well, and that means getting enough fruits and veggies, which we all know you're not doing on your own, and that's where Balance of Nature comes in. Hey, right now, Balance of Nature offering free shipping and 35% off any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. So start your journey to better health today by calling 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or go to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
If you've been in business more than 20 minutes, you've probably printed your logo on all kinds of promotional products. We all know logos work because they're on everything from the top of skyscrapers to the bottom of shoes. Ever wondered why? Or how to best use your logo to grow your business? Let us show you today for free. We're 4imprint, promotional product experts at your service. We're giving away the latest issue of Amplify, the digital magazine that reveals promotional product success stories absolutely free to everyone who texts BOOST to 88988. At 4imprint, we make your logo look perfect on thousands of promotional items. With our 100% guarantee, it'll be right the first time, on time, every time. Your free e-magazine will reveal invaluable insights that can attract new customers, build your brand, and grow your business. Get the latest issue of Amplify absolutely free by texting BOOST to 88988. That's BOOST to 88988.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well. 3 national security officials tell CNN that the U.S. intelligence community's top election security official appears to have overstated the formal assessment of Russian interference in the 2020 election. Oh boy, who could have seen that coming?
Eating crow, right?
We'll discuss with Francis Menton, the Manhattan Contrarian, at 6:36.
But now let's head straight into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Snow in 29, and that snowfall causing a bit of a messy morning commute around Chicagoland and some 2-hour school delays in northwest Indiana. Democrat presidential race heating up in South Carolina. Frontrunner Bernie Sanders, the target of last night's debate in Charleston, criticized for the cost of his universal health care plan. And former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg came under fire from Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren.
My Secretary of Education was someone who believes in public education. And my Secretary of Education will believe that public dollars should stay in public schools.
Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar says she's planning on coalition building between urban and rural communities.
So the way you do that is, first of all, taking care of the Section 8 backlog of applicants. There are literally hundreds of thousands of people waiting, and I have found a way to pay for this.
Candidates were asked how they would deal with coronavirus. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg says the U.S. cannot avoid doing business with China.
But we make no mistake about it. We have to deal with China if we're ever going to solve the climate crisis. We have to deal with them because our economies are inextricably linked.
Senate Republicans are discussing how much money they need to set aside to deal with the coronavirus outbreak here.
We don't have all the time in the world, but I think we do have time to look at what it will be the right number, if $2.5 billion is the right number, if the pay-fors for part of that are the right pay-fors.
Senator Roy Blunt of Missouri this morning, a 60-year-old man in Paris has become the first French national to die from the coronavirus. An oil refinery near Los Angeles is on fire this morning after a reported explosion. No injuries have been reported. There's a new CEO of Disney. Bob Iger stepped down on Tuesday, replaced by Bob Chapek. Authorities are investigating after a body was pulled from the Chicago River on the west side. An autopsy scheduled for later today. A woman is dead. 4 others are wounded after another Chicago mass shooting. This one happened outside of a convenience store and inside of that store on the south side near 79th and Avalon. There have been no arrests. Government attorneys say former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich should be stripped of his law license. Lawyers for the Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission urged a panel to recommend Tuesday that Blagojevich be disbarred. The panel is expected to issue a ruling within 3 months. And McDonald's fans this morning are trying their luck to win a cup of Rio Gold. It's up for auction on eBay to celebrate the Shamrock Shake's 50th anniversary. The cup really is a polished 18-karat gold cup embellished with emeralds and diamonds. It's worth nearly $100,000. Bidding began at $1, and last check was up to about $25,000. The auction runs through March 6th, and the reason we're telling you about it is because the auction will generously benefit Ronald McDonald House charities. Blues score 4 times in the third period in a come-from-behind win over the Blackhawks, 6-5. Thunder edged the Bulls, 124-122 at the UC. Cubs fell to the Rockies in spring ball. White Sox split a pair of games. The news, a service of Staples. At Staples, save up to 40% all month long on select chairs like desk or executive chairs for the office and gaming chairs for the home. If you are outfitting your home, your office, or your home office, hurry to Staples. Offer ends 2/29/20 while supplies last. Staples. 6:34. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity can't believe we are where we are.
It's just every question is answered. This was so frustrating to me, watching all of this shift show. How is it even possible we are here? How is this possible? Especially knowing all that we know. It shouldn't be.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
After 25 years of building websites for all kinds of companies in many different industries, AmericanEagle.com realized a well-designed website is also your best employee, bringing efficiency, revenue, production, showing up every day, giving above and beyond to increase your bottom line. That's what a website designed, developed, and hosted by AmericanEagle.com has brought to so many clients. An AmericanEagle.com website is a 24/7 branding exercise, building rapport and thus brand equity while you sleep. Companies like WeatherTech have relied on AmericanEagle.com's website design and development and hosting capabilities for years. When some of the world's top brands need a reliable company to prepare their sites for high-traffic events, who do they call? AmericanEagle.com. Their clients have come to rely on them for a full line of website services, from consulting and strategy to digital marketing, hosting, and maintenance. Give the team at AmericanEagle.com a call today. 1-877-WEB-NOW. The number 1 is the number. AmericanEagle.com is the website. 1-877-WEB-NOW-1 is the number.
This is attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on AM 560 every Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. Let me tell you about Bill. Bill's business slowed down and he fell behind on his taxes. Instead of filing his tax return, he decided to wait until he could pay. Well, 1 year turned to 2, turned to 3. Then the IRS threatened to contact his customers, take his house, his bank account, and his passport. Well, Bill hired me. We filed all of his tax returns and an appeal to slow the IRS down. Then we worked out an installment agreement based on how much he could pay, not on how much he owed. Now Bill can rely on the IRS protection plan. We will file his future tax returns and keep the IRS off his back so Bill can focus on growing his business. If you have questions about the IRS, you can get a copy of my book, Deal with Your IRS Problem Today, to learn the secrets of solving your IRS problem and save your business, your marriage, and your reputation. Call 312-664-6649 or go to freeirsbook.com.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it is a fit for you.
6:37 Team Hochberg Traffic Center time and Jim Telemonte.
In Carroll Stream, this crash on northbound Gary before Army Trail. On the inbound Kennedy, traffic's getting heavier with delays starting at Canfield. It's 33 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 13 from Montrose, 11 on the Express. Outbound 25 minutes to the airport. Edens, 19 minutes Lake Cook Junction. Inbound Eisenhower, looking at 40 minutes from 390 to downtown. Outbound 31. Inbound Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Inbound Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, delays starting at 107th, now 24 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 22. Northbound Tri-State, it's heavy from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. The other tollways are fairly light. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Bit of snow this morning. The storm totals around 1 to 3 inches. Much more than that, over 4 in northwest Indiana, and a high of 33. Currently 29. Next news at 7, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Elizabeth Warren went to the well once too often last night in Charleston. You know, she came out throwing haymakers against Bloomberg in Vegas, but going back to the whole issue of the sexual harassment complaints at Bloomberg Corp and the NDAs, it just turned out to be a little much. I think it fell really flat, as her campaign has.
When I was 21 years old, I got my first job as a special education teacher. I loved that job. And by the end of the first year, I was visibly pregnant. The principal wished me luck and gave my job to someone else.
That's a lie.
Pregnancy discrimination, you bet. But I was 21 years old. I didn't have a union to protect me, and I didn't have any federal law on my side. So I packed up my stuff and I went home. At least I didn't have a boss who said to me, kill it. The way that Mayor Bloomberg
never
is alleged
said
to
that.
have said to one of his pregnant employees. People want a chance to hear.
Oh, the Boo-Birds are out.
People want a chance to hear from the women who
I
have
never
worked.
said that.
I want to allow the mayor
for the
an
record,
opportunity
if
to
she was a
respond.
teacher in New York City, she would never have had that problem. We treated our teachers the right way, and the unions will tell you exactly that.
Well, Mayor Bloomberg, Senator Warren has raised.
Let us have the women have an opportunity to speak. The Bloomberg corporations and Mayor Bloomberg himself have been accused of discrimination. They are bound by non-disclosures so that they cannot speak. If he says there is nothing to hide here, then sign a blanket release and let those women speak out so that they can tell their stories the way I can tell my story without having
thank you. I am
that
Nora.
they're going to be sued by a billionaire.
All right.
And the irony is, though, they're all pro-aborts. So, I mean, kill it. So what? That's what you guys do anyway.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
Thinking, like, why does it even matter?
Well, Caesar Mike had his turn to respond to that if he could muster a little bit more moral indignation to be convincing.
Probably wrong to make the jokes. I don't remember what they were, so I assume if it bothered them, I was wrong, and I apologize. I'm sorry for that. But what happened here is we went back 40 years, and we could only find 3 cases where women said they were uncomfortable. Nobody accused me of doing anything other than just making a comment or two. And what the senator did suggest was that we release these women from the non-disclosure agreement. I did that 2 days later, and my company has said we will not use non-disclosure agreements ever again. The senator has got it, and I don't know what else she wants us to do.
I'll be
We're
clear.
following exactly what she asked
I'll
to do.
tell you exactly
and the
what I want
trouble
you to do.
is, with this senator, enough is never enough for what this. I'm going to start focusing on some of these other things. We just cannot continue to relitigate this every time. We did what she asked. And thank you. We've probably made the world better because of it.
Don't break your hand congratulating yourself there on the back. But
it got old. You're right. I mean,
it was tiresome. And here's the other thing. Hey, Caesar Mike, welcome to the party. Oh, the left. If you give the left an inch, they will take miles and miles and miles on a trip that has no endpoint. Welcome to the party. That is the posture on everything, on every power gambit. And, of course, Caesar Mike is a bit blind to it because he's just focusing on those opportunities where he is given an inch to take miles and miles. But that was the most instructive piece of it, is Bloomberg's exasperation and nothing is ever good enough in terms of ceding my autonomy to political hacks like Elizabeth Warren. Welcome to the frackin' party, pal. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Francis Menton, the Manhattan Contrarian, who's written a couple of good recent posts on the Bolshevik as well as the Russian meddling in the 2020 election. We've got a revised estimate on that we wanted to discuss. Francis, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Well, you're the Manhattan Contrarian, so how's your guy from Manhattan doing?
You're talking about Mike Bloomberg here?
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
I think he's got more of a shot than you might think. I would say after Bernie, he might be the second guy in the betting odds at this point.
Okay, and how do you think what's your assessment of the approach he's taking, where he was perceived until this race to have had a fairly successful tenure as mayor despite some of his nanny state tendencies? But he's essentially run away from his record, so now it's a little bit difficult exactly what to make of him other than a real rich guy.
Right. He actually ran in the Republican Party for mayor of New York twice, the third time as an independent. And he was running against leftist Democrats at that time and defeated them, obviously, fairly narrowly. But he won as a Republican mayor of New York and governed as a moderate. Of course, he has his nanny state things, but he definitely governed as a moderate. And of course, on joining the Democratic Party, you just can't do that. There's no limit to the programs and spending that you have to propose and go along with. So there he is.
Yeah, and Elizabeth Warren brought that up last night. She slammed him, for funding Republicans and being one, and that the Democratic Party, she said, will never trust him. But who on that stage last night will we never see again? Because this is the last debate before, obviously, South Carolina and before Super Tuesday.
I'm embarrassed to say I watched a minimal amount of that last night. But, Tom Steyer looks like he's I thought he was long gone, but he's doing pretty well in the polls in South Carolina. Amy Klobuchar.
Not boring.
She seems to be sinking, but she surprised everybody in New Hampshire. So they don't seem to be able to get rid of anybody over there.
Well,
yeah,
and it seems it's the parallels to 2016 where you're where you were trying to see the field winnow to have a quote-unquote conservative alternative to Trump. And here you're trying to get the Mensheviks to winnow down to one to have a, I guess you would argue, a little bit more moderate challenger to the Bolshevik.
Yeah, this point isn't original to me, but I think many have said that the thing that gave Donald Trump his opening was that he had so many opponents, and it was really him against all of them. They divided the vote and gave him the opportunity to go through. Is the same thing happening right now for Sanders? Sure looks like it is.
CNN yesterday, boy, this must have been a difficult story for them to write. The U.S. intelligence community's top election security official appears to have overstated the intelligence community's formal assessment of Russian interference in the 2020 election, omitting important nuance during a briefing with lawmakers earlier this month, according to 3 national security officials who spoke to CNN. Boy, I guess that's what happens when you rely on leaks from meetings that don't have multiple independent corroboration. All of this hysteria that Russia is back to back Trump and in the primary to back Bernie on the other side to help Trump in the general and so on and so forth. The conspiracy theory goes. And, the question that's never asked is, what exactly does Russian meddling look like? What does it constitute? What specifically is the threat? And how potentially impactful could whatever it is they're allegedly planning be? And it turns out that they're already revising the threat level down, which is rather remarkable given the hysteria over the weekend.
I find the whole Russia meddling thing to be about the funniest of all the political stories that we have. Now, I found it funny when it first started back in 2017, right around the time of Trump's inauguration. I thought it was completely preposterous and completely laughable, and yet it went on and on and on and on for 2 years, and we got Mueller, and we got midnight raids on people's houses, and just endless amounts of hysteria over it, and now it's back. It's beyond ridiculous. It's particularly beyond ridiculous because the idea that Russia supports Trump is unbelievably laughable, preposterous, in my opinion.
Well, but there's some segment of the population that isn't laughing. They're spinning conspiracy theories, and they're being helped by a failed Hollywood screenwriter Larry O'Donnell. Larry O'Donnell has an MSNBC show this weekend. Listen to this.
But we begin tonight with another test of America's ability to be shocked by Donald Trump, who has very deliberately shocked America to the point where he hopes that shock has been replaced by acceptance.
Oh.
The president is a Russian operative. That sounds like the description of a bad Hollywood screenplay, but it is real.
It's real, Francis.
And I don't watch MSNBC that much, but they've got Rachel Maddow is just as bad. All I can say is the fracking revolution, which Trump supports, has caused the price of oil and gas to fall by about half since Obama's second term. And Trump wants that to continue. Oil and gas is a huge part of Russia's economy, and more important, it's the majority of Russia's government revenues and exports. Russia is completely dependent on that compared to our economy, where it's a couple of percent. In their economy, for government revenues and exports, it's more than half. And they lost half of that money when the price went down. And all the Democratic candidates want to ban fracking and have the price of oil go back up. That means trillions and trillions of dollars for Russia. So who does Putin support? This is the most ridiculous hysteria I have ever seen in my life.
You're missing it, Francis. Here's what's going to happen. In the second term, he's got to get reelected. And then he's going to invite the Red Army in to take over America. It's going to be like Red Dawn. You're going to see parachutes in the skies over the heartland. They're going to take over America, wrest control of our economy, the largest in the world, and we're going to live under Soviet domination.
If you believe that, there's no response to it.
No,
That's
I know.
all I can say.
I'm auditioning for a guest hosting gig on MSNBC. He is Francis Menton, the Manhattan Contrarian. Check out his pieces, which I'll tweet out. If you can articulate a limiting principle on government expansion, you get Bernie Sanders. If you can't articulate, obviously. And then also, could we really be facing Russia 2.0 as we were discussing? Francis, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
So glad to be here.
Thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
The Lou Dobbs Financial Report is brought to you by Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The Supreme Court bars a lawsuit against a Border Patrol agent. The Health and Human Services Secretary says the United States will tackle the coronavirus. And Amazon launching a cashierless grocery store. Those stories next. In a recent survey, investors shared what they felt were the greatest threats to their retirement. It's no surprise the most common threats include stock market volatility, economic uncertainty, conflict in the Middle East, the 2020 presidential impeachment, and election. Unfortunately, there are many threats beyond your control that can affect your retirement savings. At Goldco, a leader in precious metals, the team believes one way to protect your investment portfolio is with physical gold and silver. Goldco has helped thousands of investors safeguard their retirement, especially in times of uncertainty. In fact, if you call 855-971-2006, Goldco will send you a free 1-ounce silver American Eagle coin. And all you have to do is pay for shipping and handling. No obligation. 100% free. Call 855-971-2006 to get your free silver American Eagle coin. That's 855-971-2006. In a 5-4 ruling, the Supreme Court barred a lawsuit against a Border Patrol agent who fatally shot a 15-year-old boy from across the border in Texas. The High Court's decision dismisses efforts by immigration activists to have foreign nationals be able to pursue civil rights lawsuits in U.S. courts. HHS Secretary Alex Azar says more coronavirus cases are likely in the United States, and Congress needs to approve President Trump's request for $2.5 billion more to meet the expense of that battle. In Seattle, Amazon rolling out its checkout-free technology in a large grocery store. Amazon plans to license the cashierless system to retailers in other industries. It uses cameras and sensors to charge customers for their products as they leave the store. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Hey, got a great night's sleep last night because I'm prepared in case it comes, but also because of the MyPillow products. And I absolutely love the Giza cotton sheets. You can spend hundreds, even $1,000 plus on Egyptian cotton 1,000 thread sheets. Don't waste your money or your time. Go online to MyPillow.com and get your set of Giza cotton sheets, because guess what? We still have 2 for the price of 1. Yes, 2 sets of Giza cotton sheets for the price of 1. There's different shapes, sizes, and colors to choose from. Also, the MyPillow is perfect because you could put it in the washer and dryer when it gets dirty. The mattress topper, the pet beds, the MyPillow towels, which are very soft and absorbent. Find it all at MyPillow.com. Type Amy, A-M-Y, in that promo code, and you'll get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, plus free shipping. MyPillow.com, promo code Amy, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201, and tell them Amy sent you.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
The number one reason I started taking Balance of Nature was the quality and I think the proven science behind it piqued my interest. I've tried so many different types of supplements, whether they're dietary supplements or just general vitamins. This is the only dietary supplement that I've ever taken where I actually felt a noticeable change. To me, that speaks volumes, you know.
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com, and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, networks of the future are finally here, and Turnkey IT is ready to set up your business. Guess what? Serverless networks, yes, I said it, serverless networks help you save money, increase productivity, and minimize the headaches by not having to purchase or maintain a local server in your building. Unleash your business from having a server. Now you continue to have all the tools you rely on with Microsoft 365, including Outlook, Excel, PowerPoint, and more. And with Turnkey IT, each user gets a terabyte of storage with all the files, folders backed up and ready to be shared securely within your organization. Can your business go serverless? Turnkey IT is offering a free 5-point assessment to determine if your business qualifies in just a few minutes. So visit turnkey.pro today. That's turnkey.pro.
Hi, this is Dan Frio with the Mortgage Update. Your lifelong dream has always been to buy your own home. So what's your first step? Do you call your local bank, go online and apply at one of the internet companies, or have your realtor refer you to a company they work with? What if I said none of the above? Why? Your local bank might not offer the program that's best for your situation. The online companies, you input your information and hope they get back to you. And you also put all your life history out on the web. Your realtor's lender, their focus is on the sale, not getting you the best rate and program. So what's your best option? Dan Frio. Why? I work for you, not the bank. I shop your loan to over 21 different mortgage lenders that get you the best rate and program that fits your needs. So let's make your dream a reality. Call me today, 844-775-LOAN. That's 844-775-LOAN. Or reach me on the web at windmortgage.com. That's windmortgage.com.
Parkside Lending, LLC is an Illinois residential mortgage licensee and an equal housing lender. NMLS 176162. Attention maintenance coordinators. If you manage an industrial facility, then you know how critical it is to manage a consistent maintenance staff. During outages, when you're shorthanded, Vans has your back.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Whether you need one person for 8 hours or a large crew for a month, we can supplement your maintenance team. Our personnel are trained mechanics familiar with all material handling processes. Our expertise extends to fabricating, sheet metal, millwright, and ironwork jobs. Our men can work alongside your repairmen, or we can provide an entire crew complete with equipment depending on your requirements.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to schedule your maintenance team. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANSindustrial.com. Vans Industrial, working safe since 1964.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I'm getting this for Hayek. I don't know if you should for Bunky. Have you seen this? The Cuss Collar?
Yeah.
It's a product that combines a patent leather collar strap with an injection molded speaker that swears every time your dog barks. So when Hayek barks, rather than saying, I love you, he'll say, why didn't you go make love to yourself, or something like that. Or
thing sucks.
Yeah, something like that.
Would anybody want that?
Because, like, when you're walking, when I'm walking him in the dog park, when people want to come up or look at him or talk to me, which is rare, but I can have him swear at them rather than so that I don't have to. Exactly. What the F are you looking at?
Yeah. Why are you blanket in my space?
And I can say, oh, bad dog, bad dog. So as you see, it's the plausible deniability piece.
I would definitely not get that for Bunky because she loves the attention. She's a show dog.
I am going to get this. Yeah. All right, I'm going to try it out.
We can try it out, yeah.
It's MAGA territory, so they'll expect it.
Exactly. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to former Attorney General and federal judge Michael Mukasey on his defense of current Attorney General William Barr. That's at 7:07.
And the craziness that's going on Wall Street. We'll get the latest from Stephen Moore. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
A woman killed, 4 others hurt in a Southside mass shooting. Body pulled from the Chicago River. And a fired school administrator suing CPS. WIND, Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
It's the last debate before the next 15 primaries. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I will win South Carolina.
And Joe Biden asserted himself more.
I'm not out of time. You spoke over time, and I'm going to talk.
But it was Bernie Sanders, fresh off wins in New Hampshire and Nevada, under attack in the CBS News debates.
Misconception, and you're hearing it here tonight, is that the ideas I'm talking about are radical.
He was under fire for the cost of his proposals. Pete Buttigieg took aim at Sanders not supporting getting rid of Senate filibusters.
How are we going to deliver a revolution if you won't even support a rule change?
Amy Klobuchar took aim at Sanders defending education programs in Cuba.
He literally thinks he can go over and bring a hot dish to the dictator next door, and he thinks everything's going to be fine.
Elizabeth Warren went after Mike Bloomberg again in lawsuits from women.
At least I didn't have a boss who said to me, kill it. The way that Mayor Bloomberg
never
is alleged
said
to
that.
have said to one of his pregnant employees.
The South Carolina primary is Saturday. A U.S. soldier is following orders in South Korea to stay away from everyone. He is now a coronavirus patient. Fox's Simon Owen has more live.
Dave, the U.S. military confirming the first infection of an American soldier, a 23-year-old man who's now at home off base.
This is a setback. It's true. There's no getting around that. But it's not the end of the war.
The commander of the U.S. Army garrison in Daegu, South Korea, Colonel Edward Balanko, telling troops we are well equipped to fight this thing off. Meanwhile, amid deadly outbreaks in Italy and Iran, the World Health Organization saying yesterday was the first day that more new infections were reported outside China than in China. Dave?
And Simon, President Trump tweeted the CDC and his Health and Human Services Secretary are doing a great job with the coronavirus. A CDC director has said it's inevitable the virus will spread here. The question is when and how many will get sick. The president also wrote, the trip he's just returned from this morning to India was very successful. America's listening to Fox News.
29 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A messy commute this morning. National Weather Service says 2 to 3 inches of snow is still possible in some parts of the area, especially in northwest Indiana, where many schools are on 2-hour delays because of the heavy snow. Authorities are investigating after a body was recovered from the Chicago River on the west side. An autopsy is scheduled for later today. A woman is dead, 4 others wounded after another Chicago mass shooting. It happened inside a convenience store on the south side last night.
After firing almost 20 rounds into the store, the 3 suspects entered a vehicle and fled.
The males fled from 79th and Avalon, leaving an 18-year-old woman critically hurt and another 18-year-old woman dead, shot in the neck. There have been no arrests. 2 top administrators fired from Chicago's Lincoln Park High School are suing the Chicago Public Schools in federal court. The pair filed suit yesterday claiming they were defamed by school district officials and are now unable to find a job. Authorities are searching for 3 suspects accused of vandalizing Mike Bloomberg's presidential campaign office on Chicago's north side. And an Illinois lawmaker is proposing legislation that would increase the speed limit in the state. GOP Representative Jim Oberweis introduced 2 separate bills. One would raise the max speed limit to 75 on interstates outside urban areas. The second raises the max speed on highways, roads in urban districts to 60 miles an hour. Blues beat the Blackhawks. Chris Paul, a couple of huge free throws late, helping the Thunder trim the Bulls 124-122. College baskets, DePaul fell at Xavier. Our Northern Illinois Huskies, a last-second win over Eastern Michigan, 73-71. Loyola gets win number 20, beating Drake. The news service of Mucinex Night Shift. Cold or flu make you feel like a zombie? Ugh, what a nightmare. Mucinex Night Shift is ready to help. Show them how you beat the zombie funk. For your chance to win $1,000 or a VIP experience, visit beatthezombiefunk.com for details. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
So we know you already like listening to AM 560 The Answer. But now, if you listen to us online, you could win a $200 Amazon gift card. Just listen to AM 560's online stream in any of the ways that are available at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, through your smart speaker, or through iHeart, TuneIn, or radio.com. When you listen, you'll learn how to enter to win. It's that easy. Stream, listen, and win. Contest ends soon, so enter today.
You see them all around town. Cintas trucks and their service reps taking care of customers. When companies use Cintas, you know they're confident and ready. Cintas helps with their fire protection and first aid and safety programs, handles their apparel solutions, and helps keep their facility and restrooms clean and stocked. So you know those companies care about their employees, facilities, and image. When all those things work together, they're ready for business.
Oh, I'm ready!
Get Cintas and get ready for the workday.
This is the Frells family. They live on a piece of land they call greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
The following is a paid political announcement.
In 2020, we will decide the direction of our nation for decades to come. Do you want more government in your life or more freedom? As a veteran, Jeannie Ives stands on the side of freedom. She took an oath to protect and defend our Constitution. Now, our American values are under attack. Our economic system, the rule of law, and our ability to create and pursue opportunity. In Illinois, Jeannie spent 7 years fighting corruption and reckless spending, because every dime government spends comes out of your pocket. In Washington, Ives will fight to balance the budget, defend our borders, grow the economy, and stand in the way of big government policies. You deserve to have your voice heard in Washington, not to be talked down to by elitist politicians in your own backyard. Choose the candidate who works for you. Choose Jeannie Ives for Congress.
I'm Jeannie Ives, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jeannie for Congress.
Now some better news brought to you by Canada Dry. Traffic's the worst, so grab a can of Canada Dry Ginger Ale and imagine instead you're gently floating through the cosmos on a soft, comfy recliner. Next time, relax with the real ginger taste of Canada Dry.
7:07, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Kennedy delays start at Cumberland at 42 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 19 from Montrose, 20 in the Express, Edens, 25 minutes like Cook to Montrose. Inbound Eisenhower, it's a 46-minute trip from 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 47 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 424. Northbound Tri-State, it's heavy Plainfield Road to 47th. That's from Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. It's about Adams Tollway, there's a delay, 59 to Barrington Road. Reagan Tollway, traffic slow, Farnsworth to Eola and Washington to Yackley. Westbound heavy, 53 before Winfield. And that's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
A winter weather advisory in effect this morning. Clouds and windy, some snow. Could see a coating to an inch today, high 33. For this evening, breezy, clouds and cold, low 20. Clouds tomorrow morning, sun by the afternoon, high 32. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
29 at O'Hare, 30 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Yesterday at his press avail, while still in India, President Trump had this to say about the High Court and whether or not certain justices should be recusing themselves for cases involving him because of a political animus, personal dislike.
She and Justice Ginsburg should recuse themselves from future cases dealing with the administration. What is the basis for your opinion on that?
Well, it's very obvious. I mean, I always thought that, frankly, that Justice Ginsburg should do it because she went wild during the campaign when I was run standard. But at the same time, I think it's a higher standard in a certain sense. So they'll have to decide what to do. But her statement was so inappropriate when you're a justice of the Supreme Court, and it's almost what she's trying to do is take the people that do feel a different way and get them to vote the way that she would like them to vote. I just thought it was so inappropriate. Such a terrible statement for a Supreme Court justice.
What was inappropriate about the statement? I'm not an attorney, so I can't really look into these.
Well, you know what the statement was, John.
Well, she seemed to criticize the White House for running to the Supreme Court at the drop of a hat to seek a
No,
stay.
I don't think that was it. But I think what she did say is she's trying to shame, the way I look at it, she's trying to shame people with perhaps a different view into voting her way. And that's so inappropriate.
Well, and look, to the president's point, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you'll recall, effectively apologized during the presidential campaign in 2016 for what she termed ill-advised comments when she said, "I can't imagine what the country would be with Donald Trump as our president." She said that her late husband would have said it was time for us to move to New Zealand. She also called Trump a faker. So she recognized those were ill-advised coming from a Supreme Court justice at the time, and then now there's this other matter, and so this is prompting the review that you heard from President Trump. Now, the idea of a Supreme Court justice trying to persuade her colleagues on a particular matter of law, that doesn't strike me as a grounds for recusal. But let's discuss this among some other matters with former United States Attorney General and federal judge Michael Mukasey, who joins us now. Judge Mukasey, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
What do you think about what Trump said about Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Sotomayor?
Well, as usual, I think his comments were way over the top. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's entitled to his opinion, but I don't think he helps his cause any by sounding off about the Supreme Court. He said early on that he is the chief law enforcement officer of the country, and in a technical sense, that's right, because he sits at the top of the executive. Mm-hmm. Well, if that's true, then he has the same obligation that anybody in the entire law enforcement hierarchy has, which is not to subject the system to improper pressure and not to endanger anybody's ability to get a fair hearing. And when he sounds off the way he did yesterday, that doesn't help things.
You and one of your colleagues, former Attorney General Ed Meese, wrote a piece in the Wall Street Journal last week in defense of William Barr, our current Attorney General, of course, and his intervention in the Roger Stone case, and also to the back and forth that he had with the president, which I think was a little bit overblown. But I mean, in terms of your specific defense of Barr and his intercession, which was criticized by Democrats and all kinds of suggestions he resign and all these current and former Justice Department officials and so on and so forth, what is the defense that you and Attorney General Meese offered?
Well, first of all, you say intervention, intercession. He is the Attorney General.
Right.
He didn't intervene.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Right.
It's the Department of Justice case. He had an obligation, it seems to me, when his prosecutors, not his prosecutors, but the DOJ prosecutors, file a recommendation with the court. And again, it's only a recommendation. It relates to the sentencing guidelines, which themselves are not mandatory, just advisory, but that their recommendation, in other words, that the government's recommendation, is that Stone be sentenced to between 90 and 108 months. That is between 7.5 and 9 years for his conviction. Now, the judge ultimately sentenced him to 40 months, which was right within the guideline that should have applied. What they did was to take the guideline that applies to threats. Well, that guideline is really meant to be applied when the threats are, for realsy. He had he had texts to this witness where he said things like, prepare to die, and I'm
going to get your dog.
And I'm going to get your dog. And then he also said, my lawyer is going to tear you apart on cross-examination. I don't know whether that cross-examination would be after the witness died or before. But in any event, the witness himself said he didn't take this stuff seriously.
Right.
Yeah, but what does it mean when the 4 prosecutors, though, that work for the DOJ resign from the case?
What it means is theatrics. They resigned from the case. That's their right, I guess. That was itself an overreaction. They were reacting to being supervised properly by the Attorney General. They have a right to do that, but it's it's simply theatrics for them to try to suggest that something improper was going on here.
Yeah, political martyrs get book deals. Rowan Scarborough in the Washington Times had an interesting point, too, on the topic. I don't remember the hue and cry when Eric Holder, I don't want to use the word intervene again, but when Eric Holder got involved in a Justice Department civil suit against the new Black Panther Party, dropping the case, which he was entitled to do as Attorney General. Don't recall the hue and cry in 1997 when Janet Reno, the AG, overruled FBI Director Louis Freeh, deciding not to appoint an independent prosecutor to investigate possible illegal campaign fundraising calls made by Clinton and Gore. So, I mean, you know, as you say.
And there was no hue and cry either when Eric Holder described himself as the president's wingman.
Right. Yeah.
That was his own description of his job as Attorney General. Incredible. And there was crickets. That was it.
And here was, I want to get your take, both sort of legally as well as politically, to that back and forth between Barr and Trump last week. My take was this. Look, you've got two guys that are, very aggressive, and but within the bounds of their responsibilities and powers. President Trump, if he has the power to pardon Roger Stone, he certainly has the power to comment on the case, whether it's judicious or not. He has that ability. That is not an overreach of his authority. And, in the context of everything that has happened with respect to all of the Russian collusion, Russian meddling allegations, you can appreciate some of the president's frustration. And then Attorney General Barr, as a professional, longtime professional, wants to make it clear that, number one, that doesn't help him do his job, and a point that Trump conceded. And number two, look, I'm making independent decisions as the Attorney General, and he has every right to reassert his independence in terms of the decision making. And so it's two guys that are very strong-willed and have complementary roles often, but sometimes they're not on the same page because of the political interests of the president versus the prosecutorial interests of Barr. And so it was much ado about not too much.
Well, yes, but let me state my own biases. I mean, you say two guys who are very strong-willed. I mean, I think one of those guys is right and the other one's wrong.
Okay.
And the one who's right is Barr. He is also the best conceivable person that the president could have in that job, and for the president to undercut him is harming himself. If the president raises doubts about the independence of the Justice Department by making comments about cases which may very well be accurate and may very well recommend results that are justified, then what it does is push the Justice Department not to reach those results, simply because they don't want to appear to be following his orders. That hurts him. It's self-defeating. It also, in a sense, raises the danger that if he makes comments about cases, then courts could intervene and throw out charges. So he's hurting himself and he's hurting the case. I think Barr is an independent, accurate thinker. I can't think of anybody who is better suited to the job. Barr is going to testify on March 31 in front of the House Judiciary Committee. And I can't wait for that.
Oh, me too.
I would buy a ticket.
Yeah.
I would buy a ticket to that.
And this is going to be another one of those instances, I suspect, where, in this case, Jerry Nadler is going to regret calling him to testify.
Very much so, because Barr is 10 times the lawyer that Jerry Nadler is, or anybody else for that matter. He's also 10 times the lawyer that any of the people who signed that letter urging his resignation are. I mean, he was the head of way back earlier in his career. He was the head of an entity called the Office of Legal Counsel. That is the office within the Justice Department that determines the government's legal position in cases. It is an office that is populated by only the best lawyers in the department. He headed that office. He was Deputy Attorney General. He was then Attorney General before he became Attorney General this time. So his legal stature compared to theirs, I mean, they're pygmies compared to him.
I wanted to get your reaction to this op-ed in The Hill by Edward Purcell, who's a New York Law School professor. He suggests that the Republican Party in the last 3 years under President Trump has embraced 6 principles destructive of constitutional government. They've negated the separation of power supervision by preventing Congress from obtaining relevant evidence. This, of course, goes to impeachment, the article of impeachment. Second, the use of the power of the office to pressure foreign governments to intervene in American elections. Third, the right to these rights he's created, that he's saying that the president's created. Right to utilize federal agencies to serve personal purposes. Compel the Justice Department to protect his friends while prosecuting his enemies. The right to use legislative appropriations for his own purposes rather than those of Congress. And establishing that he cannot be impeached because removal would then illegitimately overturn a presidential election. All of those developments have occurred under Republicans, he argues, and are destructive to our constitutional government.
Well, none of them is, first off, most of that is inaccurate. Secondly, whatever is accurate isn't destructive of constitutional government. Just to take the notion of he can't be removed because to do that would overturn the results of an election, that's an argument. What he's saying, that he's not allowed to make arguments against impeachment. He also has withheld, I think properly, turning over documents to Congress. He turned over many documents, permitted witnesses to testify, but drew the line at some and said, "Fine, you think it's improper? Take it to court." They refused to do that. I think standing on his rights certainly isn't destructive of constitutional government. This is another, bit of hyperventilation by a professor.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to get your take on some other development too. This is a little bit below the fold, but it's also a hopeful note, and those are not often easy to find these days. This is about the ERA, that relic from the 70s,
Right.
passed in 72 by Congress, but fell short by the established deadline of getting the 38, the 3/4 of states to ratify it, that it needed to become a constitutional amendment. Well, in their infinite wisdom, states, including my home state here of Illinois, have tried to resuscitate the ERA by noting those states that recently added their names to the list of ratifiers. Of course, they also want you to ignore the 5 states that rescinded their original ratifications, most of them before the congressionally established deadline. I say all this to get to Justice Ginsburg, and the Wall Street Journal editorial board opined on it, offering her opinion as a supporter of the ERA. But she said, if you count a latecomer on the plus side as a ratifier, how do you disregard states that said we've changed our minds and did so before the established deadline? Right. And so, I mean, sort of striking a no without indicating where she would come down on the issue, but sort of indicating it. Striking a note that says, well, this is, that there is separation here. Congress had the power to act. The states had a timeline in which to do it. And now they're trying to cherry pick and say late ratifiers count, but early rescinders don't. And that just strikes me as unfair, even though I'm a supporter of the initiative. So a hopeful note for the rule of law over the rule of men is my point.
I'll say she is, in the end, she's a supporter of the rule of law. And what she says is, you want to pass the ERA, pass it the right way, which is exactly the proper position.
Yeah, and
so, yes, it is a very hopeful note.
Yeah, I mean, just because we seem to be sort of careening towards an ends justify the means justice system here. Not that Barr is not standing athwart that. Of course he is, but a lot of politicians seem to be trying to push us in that direction, and so
right, even some prosecutors
and prosecutors too. Indeed. He is former United States Attorney General and federal judge Michael Mukasey. Judge Mukasey, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. If you need windows, call the exterior experts.
Call Crumweedy.
Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy. Well, they run a third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland exteriors now since 1953. And for them, it's all about trust, and they truly share your values. Why windows from Crumweedy? Now, Crumweedy windows are not offered anywhere else in Chicagoland. They are exclusive, and that's why they can offer a lifetime material and labor installation guarantee. A lifetime. That's a great investment for your home. Also, the vinyl windows are 100% virgin vinyl. You're getting quality. Now, if your windows are needy,
call Crumweedy.
Right now, for a limited time, get 50%, half off installation on windows, and get financing with no money down and no payments for a year. The best deal on windows is right now. Go to homeisneedy.com. homeisneedy.com.
Call Crumweedy.
Crumweedy Home Pros.
Protect yourself, boost your immune system so you don't get the cold or the flu or anything. Sinus infection, you name it, it's out there. And the best way you can protect yourself is to boost your immune system, get enough sleep, and eating well. And that means getting enough fruits and veggies, which I know you are not doing on your own. And that's where Balance of Nature comes in. Just 6 capsules of Balance of Nature. You're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies.
Yeah, with Balance of Nature, why are you worried about COVID-19?
Well, because I am. Because I'm paranoid. And I just ordered a bodysuit, a DuPont Tyvek 125CS, just to keep myself even safer. But keep taking Balance of Nature. Yes, you hear stories right here on all the time about how people's lives have changed by taking Balance of Nature. And the next story could be yours, but you've got to order Balance of Nature today. Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself and make 2020 a year of better health. Right now, Balance of Nature offering free shipping and 35% off any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. So start your journey to better health today. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago. Or simply go to balanceofnature.com, discount code Chicago.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. NMLS ID 128231. Equal housing lender. Not licensed in all states, including New York. Offer not available in Washington. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions.
You see it on TV every day. Global turmoil. But these international events help keep interest rates low and may even drive them lower. In response, we at Cash Call Mortgage have lowered our interest rates for the new year. And that's great news for homeowners. If you have a current rate above 2.99%, call us to see how much you can save. If you qualify, we'll even pay your closing costs. And we can close your refi in as fast as 20 days with no upfront deposit. With our low interest rates and no closing costs if you qualify, there's never been a better time to lock in a low rate before it's gone. For a free quote, go to cashcallmortgage.com or call 800-990-6947. That's 800-990-6947. 800-990-6947.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results vary. Exclusions apply.
Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices, as low as $220 per eye, and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting LIKE to 350-350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds. The LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 minutes, and most patients can get back to work the following day. The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for as little as $220 per eye. Dr. Greenberg has performed 75,000 laser eye surgeries and is one of the most experienced LASIK surgeons in Chicago.
What's that text again?
Text LIKE to 350-350. That's LIKE to 350-350 to schedule your free consultation today.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, remember we talked about this story last fall when it occurred. The 6-year-old girl named Kaya, who was arrested by Orlando police officers.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
6-year-old girl arrested at school for a quote-unquote assault. Yeah. And arrested and then taken to juvenile assessment center. 6 years old.
Yeah, they didn't bother to call her parents either. Just handcuffed her, took her out of school. Mom got a call after a mug shot was taken.
She had a tantrum earlier in the day where she had kicked and punched 3 school employees. She's a 6-year-old girl, leading to her arrest on a charge of misdemeanor battery. The body cam video has been released. If you didn't think it was insane then, which you should have, and I did, and I still cannot believe the lack of dominion, the lack of dominion over schools. Yes, common sense and dominion over schools by the adults. The lack of problem-solving skills by adults. To involve law enforcement, a 6-year-old girl throws a temper tantrum, and you have to get the cops involved? Insane. And listen to how this goes down and tell me if you don't think as I do.
Okay, she's going to have to come with us now.
Okay, Kai, you
Stand
gotta
up.
go with them, baby girl.
Stand up.
That woman had been reading her story. She was perfectly calm.
Come over here.
What are those for?
It's for you.
Keep your hands, okay? Come over here, honey. It's not gonna hurt.
Oh my God! No, turn this off. I can't listen to this.
Okay, well,
Is that a taser?
The zip
I
ties.
know. Is it- Hold me.
Let's go.
Your grandma will come pick you up, okay?
Come on, let's go.
Okay, come on. You can tell me what happened in the car, okay?
I don't want to go to the police car.
You don't want to?
No, please.
You have to.
No, please. Give me a second chance.
Okay.
That same cop arrested a 6-year-old boy at another school the same day for misdemeanor battery in an unrelated incident. The boy's arrest at that school was halted by superiors before the child made it through the full arrest process.
Thank God.
The following day, prosecutors dropped the charges against 6-year-old Kaya, and the Orlando Police Department fired that police officer who violated the agency policy on arresting children younger than 12 without a supervisor's approval. Every adult involved in watching that at that school
Should be fired.
should be
Yeah.
ashamed of themselves first and should not be in any position of authority over anyone. But this is the crazy zero tolerance. Everything goes to law enforcement or nothing goes to law enforcement, all the way on the other end of the spectrum, like Parkland, when you have a real threat, and nothing in between, because we have these policies and procedures and we don't have any critical thinking skills.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, another down day on Wall Street. We'll get the latest from Stephen Moore. But now let's head straight into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
28 degrees at 7:32. Snowfall, making for a messy morning commute, and many schools in northwest Indiana, because of heavier snow there, are on 2-hour delays. The Democrat presidential candidates on the attack against Bernie Sanders in last night's latest debate. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg saying Sanders will lose to President Trump.
And Donald Trump and the House and the Senate and some of the state houses will all go red, and then between gerrymandering and appointing judges for the next 20 or 30 years, we're going to live with this catastrophe.
Pete Buttigieg warning Democrats could lose both the White House and the House if Sanders heads the ticket. Former Vice President Joe Biden agrees that Sanders is not best suited to address economic inequality. He is.
And that's why we double the amount of money that is available for young entrepreneurs, and black entrepreneurs are as successful as any other group of people in the country.
Biden predicting he will win the South Carolina primary. South by Southwest Music Festival is still going on, in spite of some cancellations because of coronavirus fears. Organizers in Austin, Texas, are getting ready to host hundreds of thousands in about 3 weeks. Fears of the spread of coronavirus continues to hit the stock market hard, major indexes suffering some losses for the second straight day. Fire is under control at a refinery in Los Angeles. 2 explosions set the Marathon refinery on fire late on Tuesday. A woman is dead, 4 others are wounded after another Chicago mass shooting, this one on Chicago's south side near 79th and Avalon. Drivers in Indiana will very soon likely have to put down the cell phone. Indiana Senate yesterday approving a hands-free cell phone ban. The Indiana House has already approved their version of the plan. The two will have to go to reconciliation before being signed by the governor. Blues over the Blackhawks 6-5. Thunder trimmed the Bulls 124-122. College buckets, DePaul fell to Xavier. Our Northern Illinois Huskies, a last-second win over Eastern Michigan. And Loyola gets win number 20 over Drake. The news service of Staples Stores. Staples has a huge selection of printers at low prices. This week, all HP printers are on sale, with savings up to $150. Staples, there's a whole lot more in store. While supplies last, see store or staples.com/HP Week for details. 7:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher can break down the Bloomberg campaign.
No one's going to vote for Mike Bloomberg based on his ideas because he doesn't have any. He's got one. He wants to take your guns away. He's anti-gun. That much we know. And he's big nanny, big government, typical liberal. The government knows better than you do how much salt you can eat and how big your big gulps can be. He's all into that. But other than that, he doesn't have any core beliefs.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
My name is David Hochberg, and my team wants to pay your rent or mortgage for an entire year. You heard me. Team Hochberg is giving listeners an opportunity to have us pay your rent or mortgage payment for an entire year. We've teamed up with the Chicago Blackhawks to offer 2 renters and 2 homeowners the opportunity to shoot the puck during the March 22nd Blackhawks game. Score a goal, and Team Hochberg will pay your rent or mortgage for the entire year. But you can't win unless you register at chicagoblackhawks.com/Team Hochberg. Register and review official rules at chicagoblackhawks.com/Team Hochberg. That's chicagoblackhawks.com/Team Hochberg. Registration ends February 29th. Team Hochberg helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. That's 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Homeside Financial, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1124061.
Do you know that about 70% of people who order the Relief Factor 3-week quick start, that's for $19.95, you try the product for 3 weeks, about 70% order it again, which means it's working. Pete and Seth Talbot are so proud of what they've accomplished with this tremendous product. I love Relief Factor. I love the family of people who bring the product to the world. I love the way it works. I like that it's all natural. It's not ibuprofen. It's not a prescription. It just works. It's made from wild-caught fish oils and botanicals, goes to work on the pain, on the inflammation that causes pain. And again, the fact that the vast majority of people renew, that shows that it's effective. Try it. Just give it a shot. If after 3 weeks it isn't working for you, follow the instructions. 3 packets the first week, 2 packets the day the second. If it isn't working for you, notify them. You're only out $20. What do you have to lose except a whole lot of pain? ReliefFactor.com, ReliefFactor.com, or call 800-500-8384, 800-500-8384 for Relief Factor.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it is a fit for you.
7:37, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Telemonte.
Inbound Eden's delay start at Pratt. It's 24 minutes either way between Lake Hook and Montrose. Inbound Kennedy, 48 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, a tad quicker in the Express. Outbound 37 minutes to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to downtown. 34 from Wolf. Outbound 40 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 25 minutes, 90 to the merge. Seeing delays on southbound Lakeshore Drive now from before Belmont to North Avenue, northbound Roosevelt to Jackson. Delays on the eastbound Reagan Tollway are from Mill to Yackley, the northbound Veterans Memorial from Fountain to the Reagan Tollway. It's traffic. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Bit of snow today. Storm totals about 1 to 3 inches, high 33. Snow totals will go up for several counties in northwest Indiana. Breezy early, cloudy, colder, and a low of 20 overnight. 27 degrees at O'Hare. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I miscounted. I just want to correct the record.
What?
I said Joe Biden had a good day night last night because he only had 3 major gaffes. That was 150 million gun deaths since 2007 in this country. That was one. Two, earlier in the day, he referred to getting a deal done on climate with Chinese President Deng Xiaoping, who'd been dead for 23 years. President Xi was the Chinese president, so he confused the Chinese presidents. Three.
Yeah. It can't get any worse, but go ahead.
No, Obama never coddled
Dictators, yes.
Right. And, of course, we know he did exactly that. The Russian reset, his hot mic moment with Medvedev, as well, of course, as his good friend in Venezuela, Hugo Chavez, and the atrocious statement that he issued on the occasion of Hugo Chavez's death. But there's four, too, also in the area of public health, since we're COVID-19 obsessed. It was Joe Biden preventing millions of deaths from Ebola.
What we did with Ebola, I was part of making sure that pandemic did not get to the United States, saved millions of lives.
Joe Biden single-handedly saved millions of lives. This the same guy, by the way, so we're still waiting for that cancer cure.
Oh, right. He was put in charge of that.
Millions of lives. I mean, again, I hate statistics with respect to the dead human beings because it loses the humanity. But how else do you describe this in these public health matters, these epidemics? The total body count from Ebola was just under 12,000. Of course, most of that was Eastern Africa.
Right.
I mean, Western Africa, excuse me. Western Africa. So just another one. Also, the economics of this a little bit. So market reactions during virus emergencies or pandemics, if it rises to that level, since we've seen 6.5% attrition on the Dow over the last 2 days. SARS, S&P changed 38 trading days during the SARS scare 2003, Jan 2003 to March 2003. Was the S&P was down 13%. The bird flu in 2004, 7%. MERS, 7%. Ebola, 6%. Zika, remember Zika?
Oh, yeah.
66 days between November 2015 to February 2016, 66 trading days. S&P down 13%. Coronavirus to present, not including yesterday, including yesterday, coronavirus to present would be about 6%.
And there's cause for concern because the CDC came out yesterday saying, if not if, but when, and prepare the schools and your businesses and change the way we gather socially.
We expect we will see community spread in this country. It's not so much a question of if this will happen anymore, but rather more a question of exactly when this will happen and how many people in this country will have severe illness.
And they're suggesting schools consider dividing students into smaller groups or just close down for a time being. I mean, and of course,
of course, you and your doomsday preppers are completely bastardizing what, for example, she just said. Exactly when and exactly how many. Yeah, no, those are important questions. And if you don't have the answers, then you can't assume zombie apocalypse. It doesn't work that way.
She's warning us to be prepared.
Well, and then of course. And Mike Braun, Senator from Indiana, Mike Braun, one of the politicians briefed by CDC yesterday, had this to say.
So I was there and I was impressed. The CDC, the FDA, National Institute of Health, across the board, I think we've got the infrastructure and we are prepared. And I know that Chuck Schumer's been doing the Schumer shuffle on trying to say otherwise, and I think that is sad because it's not the case. We know it's been explosive in a place like China that does not have the infrastructure, wasn't prepared for that kind of outbreak. You could see that by how they were scrambling to contain it. And I think here it's much different. We are going to be as globally interacted as any place, and for so few cases. And plus, we've got the facilities, we've got the technology, we've got the ways of treating it. We can't take it lightly, but I don't like it when Schumer is out there saying that we're ill-prepared and with no good reason to say that. I think we are ready, and it remains to be seen.
And then you have Dr. Larry Kudlow telling me yesterday that everything's going to be fine.
We have contained this, I won't say airtight, but pretty close to airtight.
I think that is such an irresponsible statement. What does he know that we don't know? Because he's not saying the same thing the CDC is saying. And I trust the CDC more than I trust Larry Kudlow.
Well, you have become on this topic an expert on irresponsible statements.
Well,
so I'll give you that.
Well, I'm prepared, and I don't. Fine, if you think I'm crazy, I don't care. because I don't like this. I don't have a good feeling about this.
I'm
just preparing.
You feel your feelings. You go ahead. On these airwaves, I'm not going to let unhinged insanity go unchallenged. That's all. That's all. Yeah, no, I know. You and your doomsday prepper friends on Twitter.
Yeah, that are showing off our...
Enjoy yourselves. Yeah, with your trading pictures of your foodstuffs and your nuclear fallout shelters. All right, let's try to get a grip on this. Steve Moore, noted economist, Wall Street Journal columnist, and author of Trumponomics, joins us. Steve, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Hi, guys, and I guess I'm your epidemiologist as well.
Yes,
well, what's up with the best man in your wedding saying that? But it's under control. Don't worry. I mean, obviously he's worried about the stock market and Wall Street.
He is, and justifiably so. It's been a bloodbath, and there's no question that the selling is not over, in my opinion. I think, if you look at what's happening in China, I mean, China, guys, they're now in their first recession in 30 years. I was looking at some numbers yesterday. Their predictions are that their economic output and GDP will be down 10% in the first quarter. For a country that's been growing at 8 to 10% per year, that's a gigantic fall. The only piece of advice I give to investors right now, and look, none of us know how serious this is or whether it's going to be solved next week or it's going to take months to contain this, but I just don't like the idea of selling in a down market. People get panicked and they oftentimes make the mistake of sell, and, it breaks the first rule of the stock market. You want to buy low and sell high, and people tend to, sell low. And by the way, I am not saying the sell-off is over. I think it's not over. But I just think, by the way, the 10-year Treasury bill yesterday hit 1.3%.
Right.
Now, who's going to buy a 10-year Treasury bill? Do either of you think over the next 10 years inflation is going to be less than 1.3%?
No. Not especially after a decade of QE. No, of course not.
Exactly. So I guess my word of advice is, I'm just holding pat. I'm not buying stocks. I'm not selling them. I'm kind of trying to ride this out. And the other lesson, of course, here is, because I did watch some of that debate last night, the three-ring circus, and they keep talking about how wonderful all these socialist, healthcare systems are. And I'm like, wait a minute, China has a socialist system. I mean, everybody's covered with health insurance and so on, and their public health measures are a total disaster. So we should learn a lesson from that, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and Mayor Pete, that having the government run the healthcare system ain't such a great idea.
Well, all of them. I mean, all of them. As I keep saying, them, yeah. I mean, that there's gradations here, but they're all starting from the same premise. They're just going at a different pace whether it comes to deindustrializing our economy or taking over healthcare.
Yeah, and because by the way, they have a very, very good healthcare system in Cuba, according to Mr. Sanders. And so, look, I am worried about this. I think that the economic fallout could be, I hate to say the word "R," but we could see a recession as a result of this because the whole global supply chain is in turmoil right now. Now, again, that could turn around in a week, but this could last months.
But so many items that are supposed to be heading to America are on those crates that are just sitting there in the ports. Yep. When are they going to be released? I mean, we know there's wedding dresses on there, prom dresses, just a whole bunch of goods that we're not even aware that we buy from China.
Anybody want to wear a Chinese wedding dress that just came over on the boat? I mean, I just think a quarantine right now of China may be called for. I mean, I don't think we can.
Well, the virus lives on the surfaces. They say anywhere from 9 to 12 days, but we don't know if it's on goods that have been sitting there in crates.
We just don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I just think we should, I really do think, Amy, that we should be playing it safe here. And, you're seeing that just a few people coming over to a country like Italy or, Japan or Korea can really cause an outbreak. So I think we have to play it very safe, and China needs to be quarantined. And the other lesson we've learned here, by the way, these communist countries, socialist countries, these Bernie Sanders countries, they lie about every statistic. You can't believe one word these countries say. First, they covered it up. Then they lied about how severe it was and put, potentially millions of people's lives at risk.
Steve, I'm surprised you're buying into the hysteria as much as you are. If we cover, wait, let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
If we covered the story of the seasonal flu, like we're covering coronavirus, then Amy would be at 42 feet below the earth right now. 16, according to CDC, 16 to 41,000 deaths so far this season from the flu. If we cover this moment to moment, hour to hour, close down schools, suspend the Olympics over over what apparently is basically like the flu, then we would have the entire economy ground to a halt, shut down the airports. This is insane.
Yeah.
This is insane.
No,
Complete overreaction.
But this spread so quickly. Look at in 2 days' time, 1,000 people in South Korea got it.
280,000 to 500,000 hospitalizations this season in America for the flu. 16 to 41,000 deaths. Get a grip. Get some proportion.
I think that you're largely right. I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to be a fire alarm here or anything like that. I'm just saying, there is a potential that this could really have a negative effect. Look, I'm not a health expert. I'm an economic expert.
Right.
But, you're talking about the second largest economy in the world that is effectively shut down right now. And that
so we should shut down so we should shut down the largest economy? I don't think so.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying one of the lessons of this, maybe we shouldn't be so reliant on China in the supply chain because, I've talked to a bunch of CEOs over the last couple of weeks who are rethinking, well, China's such a cheap producer and they're so reliable. Well, maybe they're not. And, so I do think this will be contained. I do think we're going to, and by the way, when this gets contained, whenever that might be, I think the stock market roars right back to life. You mentioned those past incidents of various viruses, where as soon as it was over, right, the market snapped back, and I think that's precisely what we're going to see, whether it's the next week or the next month or 2 months from now. I'm not pulling my hair out, but I think people should just be prepared for maybe a little bit of tough times ahead.
Yeah, and get a bottle of NyQuil for the nightstand. Steve Moore, economist, Wall Street Journal columnist, author of Trumponomics. Thanks for joining us, Steve. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And by the way, we're not going to have these kind of viruses when Joe Biden is president.
They're going to be made illegal.
Millions of lives.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Steve.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I got an email last night from Catherine who said, Mike, I want to tell you about Fellowship Home Loans and my experience. I got in contact with Kevin at Fellowship Home Loans, was very pleased at how he handled my reverse mortgage. Kevin told me what I needed to know. He answered all my questions, even some I hadn't asked. And he went above and beyond the call of duty. It was a pleasure working with him. I'll definitely recommend Fellowship Home Loans to anyone I know needs help. That's just the way they do things. It's in their DNA. You want a new purchase with the historic interest rates? You want to jump on a reverse mortgage now, a refi? Fellowship Home Loans. Mike, Brian, the team, Kevin, all these great folks. Fellowship Home Loans. Give them a call. 800-510-MIKE. 800-510-6453. Or just go to online to fellowshiphomeloans.com. Fellowshiphomeloans.com. Use the promo code MikeG. Catherine's experience is very typical of the people that I know who have delightedly done business with Fellowship Home Loans.
Intercontinental Capital Group, DBA Fellowship Home Loans. Equal Housing Opportunity Lender. MLS number 60134.
Hey, if you've thought about taking advantage of the 2-for-1 offer on the MyPillow Giza cotton sheets, I suggest you do it today. It could be over any time now. And you've heard me talk endlessly about the great night's sleep I get with MyPillow and those soft, comfy, and cooling Giza cotton sheets. So if you've procrastinated, do it now and get 2 sets for the price of 1. Plus, if you use the promo code Amy, you can still get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. The pillows, mattress toppers, towels, pet beds, and all products have a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Made in America, folks, in Minnesota. Go to MyPillow.com, type in the promo code Amy, A-M-Y, or call 800-489-0201 and tell them Amy sent you.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back. And it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. And I recommend it to everybody.
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Networks of the future are here now. Game-changing serverless networks with technology that's finally ready for prime time. Turnkey IT is ready to set up your business, increase productivity, save you money, and a lot of headaches. Imagine not having to purchase or maintain a local server in your building and continue using all the tools you rely on with Microsoft 365. Everything is in one place on the Office 365 cloud platform with all files and folders stored, backed up, and ready to be shared securely within your organization. Can your business go serverless? Turnkey IT can get you started with a free 5-point assessment to determine if your business qualifies, and it only takes about 2 minutes. Visit turnkey.pro today to speak with one of their team members to find out more and join the growing number of companies using the Microsoft 365 platform now.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
It's never too early to think about what activities your son or daughter will do this summer. You want your kids to have fun during their break, but provide some structure and preparation for the next school year. Consider St. John's Northwestern Summer Academy in the beautiful Lake Country region of southeast Wisconsin. St. John's Northwestern Summer Academy offers fantastic summer programs such as academic opportunities for personal success and adventure camp. Academic Ops offers 7th through 12th graders 5 weeks of summer classes supplemented with fun activities throughout. Adventure Camp is just how it sounds, an exciting camp that instills leadership, adventure skills training, and having fun. Consider St. John's Northwestern Summer Academy for your son or daughter with their overnight or day camp programs located in the beautiful Lake Country of Wisconsin, only 2 hours from Chicago. For more information, visit sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
Faith, families, and freedom under attack. Join the Illinois Family Institute for the Worldview Conference as renowned theologian Dr. Robert Gagnon challenges us to think biblically about our corrosive culture.
The power of Jesus that we experience in the good times should embolden us to remain faithful in the difficult times.
The IFI Worldview Conference. To attend, click events at IllinoisFamily.org. It's biblical training for today with Dr. Michael Brown, provocative author and nationally syndicated radio host.
It could be that we have another great awakening ahead and that America's best days could be in the future.
The IFI Worldview Conference, 10 a.m. Saturday, March 7th at the Village Church of Barrington. To attend, click events at IllinoisFamily.org. IllinoisFamily.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, some reactions to our discussion with Steve Moore. Richard in DeKalb, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Thanks for taking my call. My concerns is that the Republican Party is not embracing the 2020. They're basically embracing 1952. I am certainly not a young man anymore. I interact with a lot of people. I have a job where I interact with all sorts of people every single day. And I want to see the Republican Party dominate America. I want to see conservative values dominate America. But there just doesn't seem to be any kind of outreach to people who see things slightly differently than conservatives, but who would see things and who live conservative lives. They just don't trust the way that they are approached or defined by the current Republican message.
Are you talking about in Illinois or nationally?
Oh, definitely Illinois first. I live in Illinois, and
right.
I come from California, so I saw over the decades how the left, or the whatever you want to call them, progressives, humanists, atheists, whatever you want to call them, I saw how they systematically went after this as cultists, as religious fanatics. that were not going to stop just because you told them no on Tuesday.
Richard,
they came back on Thursday with a different message.
We got to go. We're up against the clock, but I do appreciate the call. I think you're right about, well, the two bad states that you've lived in, Illinois and California. I think it's a little bit different. I think Trump is broadening the reach, and maybe some people are rethinking their allegiance to the left.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll continue this conversation with Chris Smith, contributing editor at New York Magazine, 808.
But now it's 8 a.m. WIND, Chicago.
It was crazy and chaotic. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump called the debate between his 7 Democratic rivals last night.
They're defending Senator Sanders. Thank you, Mayor Buttigieg. Vice President Biden, please.
I guess the only way you do this is jump in and speak twice as long as you should.
Joe Biden was seen as more assertive, predicting he'll win Saturday's South Carolina primary. Much of the focus, though, was on Bernie Sanders.
I think I would make a better president than Bernie.
Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar, and Pete Buttigieg took shots, especially to this Sanders reply in the CBS News debate to a question about how he would pay for Medicare for all.
How many hours do you have?
Math does not add up, and that is 3 times the American economy.
And it doesn't take 2 hours to do the math.
Now, Sanders took a shot of his own.
Pete has gotten funding you've got people believing something that is false. Billionaires.
It's the last debate before South Carolina and 14 Super Tuesday contests next week. Now, President Trump also tweeted this morning about the coronavirus, the day after a CDC director said the spread of it in the U.S. is inevitable. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
President Trump tweeting that the Centers for Disease Control, as well as the Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar, are doing a great job with respect to coronavirus. The president adding that he has meetings and calls scheduled throughout the day and would receive a briefing related to response efforts this afternoon. Also scheduled a 6 p.m. Eastern Time presidential news conference. Democratic lawmakers, including Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, have strongly criticized the administration's response to the coronavirus, saying the $2.5 billion funding request from Congress is too little, too late. Dave?
John, the virus spread more in the last 24 hours outside China than in that country. South Korea has more than 1,200 cases now. One of them a U.S. soldier isolated at his home off base. Now on Wall Street, which has been infected by coronavirus fear, stock futures have been way down. They're now up after swinging back and forth all morning after 2 huge sell-offs that dragged the Dow down 1,900 points. America's listening to Fox News.
27 degrees, 8:02 is our time on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. Snowfall caused a messy morning commute. Winter weather advisory still in effect until 6 p.m. Many schools in northwest Indiana are set on 2-hour delays. Authorities investigating after a body was recovered from the Chicago River on the west side. An autopsy is scheduled for later today. 1 woman is dead, 4 others severely hurt after another Chicago mass shooting. Police say it happened as gunfire broke out through the windows of Ollie's Mini Mart at 79th and Avalon.
After firing almost 20 rounds into the store, the 3 suspects entered a vehicle and fled.
No arrests have been made. An 18-year-old woman shot in the neck has died. Another 18-year-old woman suffered a gunshot wound to the back. She remains in critical condition. Chicago sports, Blues come back to beat the Blackhawks 6-5. Thunder edged the Bulls 124-122 at the UC. Cubs fell to the Rockies 12-6 in Mesa. Sox split a pair of games. College hoops last night, DePaul fell to Xavier. Our Northern Illinois Huskies edge Eastern Michigan in a crazy last-second end-to-end three-pointer, 73-71. And Loyola earns win number 20 with a win over Drake. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. And now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Deirdre Bolton, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Some major U.S. companies are reporting upbeat earnings news, though Wall Street is focused on the impact of the coronavirus. The stock market plunge yesterday puts this week's Dow Jones Industrials losses at nearly 1,900 points. Daryl Cronk of Wells Fargo Advisors says many companies are impacted by the virus.
Travel, luxury, right? All that stuff's going to be impacted. And so those names, we think some are going to have already come under some pretty significant pressure, right? The autos, the airlines, some of your more more luxury-ended type things.
And now credit rating service Moody's believes global auto sales will decline 2.5% this year, with only a modest rebound next year. Lowe's made a profit in its recent quarter. Its sales improved and its expenses declined. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
WIND News Time is 8:04. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Rod Blagojevich, commutation. Did Donald Trump do the right thing?
Steve Cortez.
He was engaged in political horse trading. That, to me, is clear. I don't think there was anything illegal going on in those tapes. It certainly appeared that something illegal was going to happen, okay? I believe he wanted to accept a bribe. Why didn't that happen? Why didn't the feds allow that to happen?
The Steve Cortez Show. Weeknights at 5, right before Larry Elder at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Folks, when shopping for a home mortgage, how much is great service, low closing costs, and competitive interest rates worth to you? At Townstone Financial, it's priceless. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
My name is Melissa, and I bought my first home with Townstone Financial. It was a lot of personal attention. I felt like I was very comfortable. All of my questions were answered. It was a very personal, and Barry is very down to earth. He breaks it all down for the layperson who is not, usually a lender or knows anything about it. And really actually cared about me and how I understood the process. I felt that I could trust Barry and Townstone right away.
Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financial is licensed in Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida. NMLS 136639. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender.
What gives one company the edge over another? Maybe it's not one thing. Maybe it's taking care of lots of things that help a business run smoothly. In other words, Cintas. Cintas has products that help your people stay safe and apparel programs that convey the right image. They service fire protection equipment, deliver and stock restroom supplies, and make sure facilities are clean and ready. Because when all those things work together, you're in business.
Oh, I'm ready!
Get Cintas and get ready for the workday.
This is the Frells family. They live on a piece of land they call greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
8:07, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Kennedy Expressway delays start at Harlem. It's 55 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Express Lane Steve about 10 minutes. Outbound 40 minutes to the airport. Eden's 24 minutes. Lake Hook to Junction. Outbound 28. Inbound Eisenhower 1 hour from 390 to downtown. 44 minutes from Wolf. Outbound 40 minutes to 390. Stevenson 55 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 35. The Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 16. I-57, 25 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 426. Northbound Tri-State delays are 95th to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway to Lords. From the Reagan Tollway delays are Mill to 355. The Veterans Memorial is heavy, Fountain to the Reagan Tollway, and Army Trail to 290. And that's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. In our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
A winter weather advisory this morning. A bit of snow. Could see a coating to an inch today, high 33. Clouds and breezy this evening, low down to 20. Clouds tomorrow morning, sun for the afternoon, the high tomorrow, 32. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
27 at O'Hare, next news 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So Elizabeth Warren took out after Bloomberg on a number of fronts again last night in Charleston, South Carolina. The NDA thing fell flat. She tried to score new points by reminding people that Mike Bloomberg supported her opponent, Scott Brown, in the Senate race in 2012.
Remember we met him at the RNC?
I do remember.
2016. And
other Republican candidates. And Bloomberg used that to pivot and remind people how much he spent to get House Democrats across the finish line to give them the majority in 2018.
Let's just go on the record. They talk about 40 Democrats. 21 of those were people that I spent $100 million to help elect. All of the new Democrats that came in, put Nancy Pelosi in charge, and gave the Congress the ability to control this president, I got them.
I got them.
Yeah, I love those. I
and they'll
enjoyed
stay
last
bought.
night.
As long as when Mike Bloomberg buys something, they stay bought.
Yeah, I own them.
In addition to that, here's the problem. It seems to me that all of those Mensheviks auditioning to be the consensus Menshevik to take on the Bolshevik is Bernie Sanders' electoral prospects are just not bad enough for them. Even this Politico story, Bloomberg internal poll claims Bernie would sink down ballot Dems, and this was sort of the argument that Mannequin Pete made most of the night.
Yeah.
This is a poll of voters in 40 battleground House districts currently held by Democrats. It's just, if you actually look at the story, it just doesn't make you run for the hills if you're a Democrat. Bernie Sanders is less popular than Trump, but even when you do the push questions, the sort of second ballot test, he goes from like a dead heat to down 6. I mean, that's still basically within the margin of error. And as Jason Riley writes in the Wall Street Journal yesterday, and others have made mention, looking at the actual data, including Nate Silver over at 538, and there's every reason to believe that if he's the nominee, most of the party ends up rallying around him. So the kind of, he is a lead balloon that will take all the Democrats down in November. That's an argument to be made, but really Bloomberg and the rest don't have a lot of data to support it at this point. For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Chris Smith, contributing editor at New York Magazine and Vanity Fair. He's a contributor at Vanity Fair. He's also the author of the book, The Daily Show. The book, An Oral History, is told by Jon Stewart, the correspondent, staff, and guests. Chris, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Is that a fair assessment of the Bloomberg et al. Problem? Is that Bernie's just not as unpopular as they want him to be?
Certainly not in a Democratic primary sense. The general election will remain to be seen, obviously. I don't put a lot of stock in the predictive ability of general election polls before the general election campaign has unfolded, and whoever the two nominees are going back and forth at one another, and the, Republican incumbent presidential campaign is dumping tons of negative ads on whoever their opponent might be. So you're right, yes. I think the larger problem for most of these Democrats is while plenty of Americans are sophisticated about politics, all of this is such process stuff. And we heard a lot of last night about the filibuster and, NDAs and all this insider stuff that's not terribly relevant to a lot of voters' lives. And sure, there was discussion yet again of health care. But as far as the non-Bernies making a compelling argument to voters as to how their vision is going to improve our lives, that was really missing. I mean, it was a terrible, terrible debate.
Well, everybody's talking over each other, and but it is the last debate before Super Tuesday, and all eyes I thought were on Joe Biden because did he maintain his front runner status last night?
He didn't do anything to hurt himself, certainly. He was kind of shouty, in tone, but he was more energetic and less rambling than in other debates. I think he scored, the points he needed to with a South Carolina audience to retain most, if not all, of the black support he's got there. So, yeah, he did fine. But, his problem, like everyone else's, is the field is still too damn big. That if anyone is going to emerge as the true alternative to Bernie, it's getting very, very late.
Yeah, I mean, I as a conservative, so I look to the left to get their reaction to a debate they're excited about as to one I'm, forced to watch by professional responsibility, and my civic mindedness, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But the Daily Beast, desperate Dems wanted to debate, they got a train wreck instead. John Harris at Politico, Dems needed a good debate, got an incoherent mess instead. Jeet Hare at The Nation, a debate with no winners, only survivors. So, those that are looking for light to dawn on the nation per the presentation of their preferred Democrat, they don't seem to think that happened last night.
No, and it was, of course, unrealistic to expect in 2 hours, some light bulb, some parting of the seas to happen and somebody to emerge, suddenly after 2 years as, this is clearly the leader everyone's looking for. But, aside from the logistics and the terrible moderating of the moderators, the moment right before South Carolina, right before Super Tuesday, right as the coronavirus is sweeping closer to us, as Trump is attempting to bend the criminal justice system again to help his friends. None of that stuff was front and center last night.
Well, let's talk about it because we do have breaking news. President Trump will be addressing the nation about the coronavirus at 6 p.m. Eastern time, 5 o'clock our time. Do you think the coronavirus and the drop in the stock market is going to affect President Trump? Or is it too early to tell?
Sure, it could. One of the pillars of his reelection argument is and likely will be a strong economy. If the stock market is continuing to tank, if the economic prospects, as a lot of analysts are talking about for the next year, are looking shaky, that is a problem for him. And he can try to blame it on foreigners, as he does most things, but it's still everyone's 401k is taking an enormous hit. And how much he loves to talk about, husbands now being loved by their wives because their 401k is up. Well, a lot of those folks are seeing thousands of dollars go out the window.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah, and of course we've been through this before, and there's a long time between now and November. And oh, by the way, I don't know of anybody who's giving the Chinese rave reviews in terms of how they handled this outbreak from beginning to present. So
but Trump did it first with his tweet. He complimented the president, saying he's got this under control.
Excuse me.
Well, excuse me, that's the truth.
Yes, and the president is trying to work with the Chinese to get in there, to get our people in there, which he said from the outset. And so, unlike you, the president's job is not to foment hysteria. It's to respond to a crisis as best he can.
And I can't wait to hear what he has to say tonight.
As best he can, dealing with communists. But the idea that the Chinese are getting good reviews and so visiting much of this at their doorstep would somehow be seen illegitimate, I think, is a reach.
To circle back slightly in two respects, and yes, you're right, from February to November is a long way. A lot of things are going to happen. But ancient history, 2001, Mike Bloomberg was floundering as a New York City mayoral candidate. And as we all unfortunately know, there were terrorist attacks and a huge downturn in the economy. And so suddenly here, anyway, a businessman mayor became much more appealing.
Mm-hmm.
I could see a scenario where if the economy, starts to wobble, the stock market continues to slide, Bloomberg again tries to employ that argument, that he's the guy to step in and stabilize the economy.
That's assuming a lot of things. First and foremost, that he's the nominee.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
oh yeah.
I mean,
No.
with Bernie, it's a little bit a different argument to make as somebody who's never had a job in the private sector, for example. So yeah, and who otherwise has spent a lot of his formative years over the last, say, 40, extolling the virtues of communist dictators around the world. So seems to me that that doesn't necessarily play into Bernie's hands particularly well.
And this is a whole lot more trivial, but I got to tap into my Daily Show book side here for a second. There were, a lot of chatter yesterday in comedy writer circles based on some recent Bloomberg tweets that he had hired some professional comedy writer to do this stuff. And man, if he has, by the evidence of the jokes he tried to tell last night, that man or woman needs to be turning in their comedy card.
Well, I mean,
he's trying to be so hip.
They're not working with a guy that has the best comedic timing I've ever seen either. But yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
What was the moment where he tried to say, like, I'm surprised anybody showed up because of how badly I beat you last week? I mean, that was just.
Oh yeah.
There was a tumbleweeds were rolling by with that.
Oh my God.
With that line, that's rough. He should, it's one of those like first iron rules of politics. Don't be somebody you're not. You're not a comedian, Mike. Don't try to be one.
Right. And I know you guys are not particularly fans of Mayor Pete, but in the mess of last night, I thought he sounded competent. I thought he sounded rational. I thought he sounded like, somebody who could actually have a major future in politics, and whether it's now is looking increasingly difficult. But I thought he showed himself fairly well last night among all the shouting and anger.
Well, one of the other things that the exchange between him and Sanders later on in the debate, where Pete, wanted to, revisit Medicare for all and go over the numbers and so forth. And Bernie basically said, look, what don't you agree with? Medicare for all, a minimum wage, and so on and so forth. The problem that so many on the stage have now, especially, is that they've adopted so many of the premises of Bernie Sanders when it comes to policy choices or policy solutions that they're really just arguing about pace so much, to the extent they're arguing about pace on a couple of issues, a couple of issue areas. And so it really doesn't make Bernie Sanders look as radical as Mayor Pete is trying to say he is.
Right. And that's a good segue that nothing last night, I don't think, damaged Bernie's front-runner status. The large field, the fact that there was all the bickering among fringe candidates, and like you say, no one distinguishing themselves in policy terms from what he's been proposing. I don't think there was anything that shook his front-runner status from last night.
He is Chris Smith. He's the author of the book, The Daily Show, the book, An Oral History as Told by Jon Stewart, the correspondent, staff, and guests. He's also a contributing editor at New York Magazine and a contributor to Vanity Fair. Chris, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, be well.
Take care.
Yeah, thank you. And here's that soundbite we were talking about with Bloomberg.
Let me also say, because since I have the floor for a second, that I really am surprised that all of these, my fellow contestants up here, I guess would be the right word for it, given nobody pays attention to the clock. I'm surprised they show up, because I would have thought after I did such a good job in beating them last week that they'd be a little bit afraid to do that.
Take my wife, please.
Chris Smith joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
If you're in HR, you're probably wearing a lot of hats. Recruiter, team builder, trainer, mediator, policymaker, and of course, paper pusher. But not anymore. Bamboo HR is the #1 HR software for small and medium businesses. It manages all your employee data easily and automates countless tasks, so you can focus on people, not paperwork. Bamboo HR frees you from spreadsheets, so you can do your real job, creating a great place to work. If the data shuffle and paperwork mountain have you ready to hang up all your hats, you're ready for Bamboo. If you handle HR records and paperwork, Bamboo HR is a dream. Let us free up your time and put your days of pushing paperwork behind you so you can focus on the people and making your company a great place to work for everyone. Try PC Magazine's top pick for HR software free today. Just go to bamboohr.com/HR. This is a limited offer, only available to radio listeners at bamboohr.com/HR. That's bamboohr.com/HR.
The American economy remains strong. Both business owners and employees are enjoying the benefits. Here at AM 560, we want to celebrate businesses that are thriving. Are you business owners part of this great American success story? If so, we want to hear from you. Once again, we're taking our show on the road, and we'll be broadcasting from Chicagoland businesses enjoying success as they serve their customers and clients through the hard work of their employees. We want to hear your story, share your success, and find out what makes your business run. It's the Signature Bank Business Tour, don't you know? To submit your business for consideration, just go to bankbusinesstour.com. That's bankbusinesstour.com. And we might be broadcasting from your business in the near future.
Safety. It's so important at your industrial facility. You need to keep your personnel safe and meet OSHA requirements. One problem with your ladders, platforms, or safety guards, and you could be facing costly fines. Vans Industrial helps you meet OSHA standards to keep your employees safe.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. As a business owner, I realize the importance of keeping my employees safe, and I'm here to offer my expertise. Vans Industrial is a specialty contractor uniquely equipped to design, fabricate, and install safety equipment, including walkways, handrails, stairways, and machinery guards. Our Vans Industrial team can inspect existing systems, engineer solutions, fabricate quality goods, and install them with trained pros, all making a safer environment for your employees.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
All right. Oh, wait, I got to take my Balance of Nature. It's almost 8:30. I'm late, Dan. Oh, my gosh. I've got to boost my immune system because I do not want to get a cold or the flu, anything like that. Or Zika. Oh, I better bring bug spray to Mexico. Uh-oh. I'm going to put in bubble wrap. But keeping your immune system well is pivotal into not staying sick, that's for sure, or to avoid being sick. And to do that, we need to eat healthy, sleep well, and eat enough fruits and veggies, which we aren't doing on our own. And that is where Balance of Nature comes in. 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. There's no chemicals or dyes or preservatives, anything like that. No GMO. It's all natural, made here in America. And you hear stories right here about how lives have changed because people are taking Balance of Nature. And the next story could be yours, so do not wait. Here's what you do. Free shipping and 35% off your first preferred order of fruits and veggies. So start your journey to better health today. Balanceofnature.com, discount code Chicago, or call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751, discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and with all that talk about living wage, minimum salaries yesterday, and as much as Jeff Bezos is trying to buy license from the socialists with his $10 billion commitment to junk science, Amazon's Go Grocery Store opened in Seattle on Tuesday.
Go Grocery. Using
an array of cameras, shelf sensors, and software to allow shoppers to pick up items as varied as organic produce, wine, and walk out without stopping to pay or scan merchandise. Accounts automatically charged to a smartphone app when shoppers leave the store. No cashiers.
Oh,
there's the way around the
virus.
Minimum wage is no employees.
Right.
Yeah.
No exchanging of cash.
So these are, and I've got one of these. Well, it's not quite like this, but I got this at Lake Point Tower. We have like a little convenience area. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a supermarket.
Like commissary.
No, it's all automated. So you just go to a computer screen and you scan in the barcodes and you pay with a credit card and you just come in and out. So there's no cashier. There's no cash.
Yeah, they're having that at the Jewels too in Mariano's.
Yeah,
self checkout.
So that's one way to deal.
CVS. They used to have. I mean, they got rid of a lot of employees at the Southport CVS because now there's just 2 and there used to be 9 at the front.
Well, one of the things that the left doesn't appreciate are things like margins in operating a business. And when you've got slim margins, as you do in, say, the supermarket business, you can't afford politicians increasing your labor costs by, a third arbitrarily and still stay in business. And so you desire to stay in business, you adjust, and what do? You get rid of those employees, which are mostly part-timers trying to make a little extra money, or entry levels trying to just begin working their way up the economic ladder. The idea that anybody is working long-term for $8, $10, $12 an hour is, of course, a fallacy, but the left gets away with the sophistry in part because so many Republicans buy into sort of the minimum wage thing, too, because they don't want to have to make arguments. They just want to be able to take positions. And it's so very tiresome. The result of which, by the way, when you start from the premises of the left, is you eliminate yourself to the benefit of the left. Please see deep blue states like Illinois, California, New Jersey, New York. You got to make arguments, not just take positions.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
In the latest installment of Why Dan Proft is Single, my boyfriend's wedding dress unveiled my own shortcomings over masculinity.
Oh, boy.
At 8:38.
But now let's head straight into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
28 degrees and light snow showers in the area. At least 21 are dead in the worst religious violence to occur in India in decades. Muslims are fleeing their homes and mosques in the capital city of Delhi as Hindu mobs roam the streets, according to reports from that city. More than 200 have been treated in area hospitals. Papa John's is closing 50 of its pizza franchise locations in China because of the coronavirus outbreak. It notified the SEC this morning that those closures will not have a big impact on its bottom line. Dr. Ann Suchat, the principal deputy director of the CDC this morning, says they're doing all they can here in this country to make sure everyone is prepared.
We work very closely with state and local public health partners. We actually practice for pandemics and threats like this. And so we've been intensifying our communication and outreach to the health departments.
The Trump administration asking Congress for $2.5 billion in emergency funding, and the president has scheduled a 5 p.m. news conference to talk to the nation about the coronavirus outbreak. Fire is under control at a huge oil refinery in L.A. The Marathon refinery went up in flames Tuesday in some spots, sending flames 100 feet into the air. Today is Ash Wednesday. Christians around the world marking the beginning of Lent. Many will go to church and accept ash on their foreheads in the shape of a cross, symbolizing mourning, penance, and mortality. A woman is dead. 4 others are wounded after another Chicago mass shooting. Chicago police tell us 3 males got out of a car at 79th and Avalon and began shooting into a mini mart. An 18-year-old woman died after being shot in the neck. 2 top administrators who were fired from Chicago's Lincoln Park High School are suing CPS in federal court. The pair filed that suit yesterday, claiming they were defamed by the school and are now unable to find another job. Blues over the Blackhawks 6-5. Thunder edge the Bulls 124-122. College hoops. Illinois travels to face in-state rival Northwestern tomorrow night. Last night, DePaul fell to Xavier. Our Northern Illinois Huskies trim Eastern Michigan in the MAC, and Loyola gets win number 20 with a victory over Drake. The news, a service of Staples Print and Marketing Services, gives you a kickstart with custom color marketing materials. Save 25% when you order 2 or more signs, posters, or banners. Ends $229.20. Must order 2 or more of the same item for discount. See store or staples.com/print25 Staples. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher wants to try to understand Joe Biden.
The Democrats are in free fall. They don't know what to do. Biden is calling people lying dog-faced pony soldiers.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you.
What does that mean? Please, someone?
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
After 25 years of building websites for all kinds of companies in many different industries, AmericanEagle.com realized a well-designed website is also your best employee, bringing efficiency, revenue, production, showing up every day, giving above and beyond to increase your bottom line. That's what a website designed, developed, and hosted by AmericanEagle.com has brought to so many clients. An AmericanEagle.com website is a 24/7 branding exercise, building rapport and thus brand equity while you sleep. Companies like WeatherTech have relied on AmericanEagle.com's website design and development and hosting capabilities for years. When some of the world's top brands need a reliable company to prepare their sites for high-traffic events, who do they call? AmericanEagle.com. Their clients have come to rely on them for a full line of website services, from consulting and strategy to digital marketing, hosting, and maintenance. Give the team at AmericanEagle.com a call today. 1-877-WEB-NOW. The number 1 is the number. AmericanEagle.com is the website. 1-877-WEB-NOW-1 is the number.
Hi, this is Dan Frio with the Mortgage Update. What do you do if you're looking to buy your first home and your realtor tells you you need to get pre-approved? You Google mortgage, and what comes up? The Rocket Place, or the online company that sends your data to 10 different lenders, and then you're overwhelmed with calls. Wonder if you can do all this with just one phone call. Wonder if the company offers online applications for ease and speed, and also shops your loan to over 20 different lenders for you, and will walk you through the entire process from application to closing. If you're looking to buy a home and need a pre-approval, do yourself a big favor and call me. Even if you already have a pre-approval, let's see if we can cut your costs and even get you a better rate. To reach me personally, call 844-775-LOAN. That's 844-775-LOAN. Or reach me on the web at windmortgage.com. That's windmortgage.com.
Parkside Lending, LLC is an Illinois residential mortgage licensee and an equal housing lender. NMLS 176162.
8:35 Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Telemonte.
Inbound expressway traffic's quite heavy now on Kennedy. We're looking at an hour and 2 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 42 minutes from Montrose, 35 on the express. The Edens, though, just 21 minutes like Cook Junction. Eisenhower an hour, 390 to downtown, 44 minutes from Wolf. Stevenson an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State traffic is heavy, 95th to 47th. That's from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. But Reagan Tollway, it's slow going from Raymond to Midwest. Northbound Veterans Memorial, out to Reagan Tollway at Army Trail to 290. Lakeshore Drive, southbound, it's bottled up Foster to North Avenue. Northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson and from Bryn Mawr to Hollywood. It's traffic. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Bit of snow, storm totals about 1 to 3 inches across the area. A little more than that in northwest Indiana. High of 33 later today, low of 20 overnight, and a chilly day ahead tomorrow. It's 28 at O'Hare. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
Time now for another reason why Dan Puft is single.
I put the singing single, ain't worried about a ring on my finger, so you can tell your friends.
Yeah. My boyfriend's wedding dress unveiled my own shortcomings over masculinity, writes Emily Hellnon, The Guardian.
Oh.
Would you have any problem if your boyfriend or husband
wore the wedding dress and you wore a suit?
Well, no, this isn't for an actual wedding. This is just this was for an event, like some sort of fun skiing type event, I guess, or hiking event down. I think it's Mount St. Helens.
Of course.
Mother's Day climb. A Mother's Day climb at Mount St. Helens. Yeah. They're searching for dresses to wear during the annual Mother's Day climb up Mount St. Helens. Decades-long tradition which everyone scaling the volcano that day sports flowing garments in honor of female mountaineers and mothers everywhere. And Emily's boyfriend, Ian, really gets into it. And it's not only for that occasion that he gets into wearing women's clothing. And so I'm just wondering, would you be okay having a boyfriend or a husband
who borrows your clothes?
Yeah. Or likes to wear dresses.
Well, that's how Bruce Jenner and his wife, their marriage unraveled, because she would catch him putting on her garments while she wasn't around, and then he started wearing dresses, and then he just full on.
And then he started having body parts removed. Yeah. So this Mother's Day climb, I knew Ian would be among the most outrageous on the mountain. My boyfriend is aggressively fun and a flare fanatic. Oh, Ian.
Oh.
Which I find wildly attractive on most occasions, like when he's scaling technical slopes in jorts and a cat shirt, or skiing the steepest lines in Pacific Northwest in space tights.
Okay, yuck.
But I found myself unexpectedly uneasy with his new fondness for feminine frocks, a reaction that challenged the progressive ideals I prided myself on for decades. I long thought I was contributing to a progressive shift in how we define masculinity, finally allowing men to be emotional and vulnerable, to ask for help, to hug their male friends, and to wear dresses. That is the natural progression. Ian giggled, if anybody ever describes me as that. Ian giggled.
Don't worry, Darren. You don't giggle.
Showing his dress to his girlfriend. Isn't it beautiful? His chest hair battled the sheer neckline.
Ew.
The skirt fanned out as wide as a beach umbrella, a garment fit for Vegas chapel. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Tell us about the Ian in your life. This was not the first time I found myself a little uncomfortable with the sight of Ian in women's wear. It's not an unusual sight to spot him sporting a skirt, dress, or sarong at a party, picnic, or trailhead. He uses his unconventional apparel as a display of his individuality and a reflection of his fondness for fun. I adore both of those qualities. But I was realizing I was less fond of seeing them exhibited through floral numbers or tight sequin garments or wedding dresses. Sure, there's got to be limits. She recalls, Emily, the first weekend we hooked up. Ugh. I had to yank a green sparkly dress over his head to unclothe him. Foreplay involved palming his glittery glutes while dancing to Kesha's Woman and caressing his furry thigh along a hemline so tight you could almost see the outlines of each and every hair follicle beneath it. This is turning into 50 Shades of Grey.
She's very descriptive in her writing.
Some might say too descriptive.
Excellent writer, but I feel uncomfortable, and I want to go home and shower. To be honest with you.
Think how uncomfortable you'd feel if it was Ian reading this to you.
Ew.
That was the first time I've undressed a man from a dress.
Okay.
She said the next morning.
Can I just say break up with him right now, please?
No.
No. Oh no, this is over.
You're not breaking up with him. No, what she's doing instead is performing, I'm quoting, a scrupulous inventory of my deepest ideas about masculinity to help her identify her shortfalls as a woman who wants to help rewrite gender norms. As I went through this exercise, writes Emily, I chatted with a handful of girlfriends about it, who could all identify their own small hang-ups with masculinity, their need for men who are bigger and taller than they are, who are better than them at sports, or who don't cry in front of them. As we interrogated our feelings about masculinity, we recognized gaps between our ideas and reality. I'm quick to blame men for perpetuating toxic behavior, but in this case, I, the woman, part of the problem. Who's toxic now, sister? Yeah.
I give it 3 months.
Yeah.
Or maybe she'll grow from this relationship. It's not you, it's me.
She talks about them reaching the summit as a metaphor for reaching the summit of their relationship.
I'm looking at a picture of this guy in this wedding dress and other women's clothing, and I say, dump him, sweetheart. It's not worth it.
And so they're summiting the mountain. Do you find your boyfriend as attractive as I do? Her friend Eli whispered.
Oh, boy.
As we watch Ian plant his poles, I don't know if that's a metaphor, confidently in front of his flowing skirt, his hairy and silky chest beaming proud against the horizon, his laughing smile nearly detectable through the back of his floral sun hat. My eyes chase my boyfriend down the mountain, my sensitive, silly, affectionate, emotional, silly heart, vulnerable boyfriend skiing in his wedding dress.
Stop it.
I do, I promised, she concludes. I mean, it's not even a Why Dan Prof to Single. It's almost a dramatic reading, but it is also a Why Dan Prof to Single. I mean, who are these women? Hey,
They must have no self-respect for themselves,
Emily.
at all.
Emily,
in order to subject themselves to that alleged man.
should I break this to Emily about Ian, or do you want to?
I think I got this one. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
I was wondering where Pajama Boy from the Obama commercials wound up. Steve on the South Side.
To your guys' point, nobody cares about your soy boy romance. Get busy making something with your life. Don't write about soy boy.
Oh, well,
have a great day.
Thanks for calling, Steve. I mean, you have to write about these things. We have to feel our feelings. We have to express them. We have to do scrupulous inventories of our deepest ideas about gender norms if we want to change them. If we want to live our progressive values. A related story, total sperm count in North America, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand dropped by 60% in the last 4 decades, according to research. Sperm count among Western men plummeting. Yeah, no kidding. We got guys running up mountains in wedding dresses.
And floral hats.
Thanks for the tip. This study by the Harvard School of Public Health, it relates it to diet. That's where they think the correlation is. On average, men who typically ate a westernized diet of pizza, snacks, sweets, processed foods, produce 68 million fewer sperm upon ejaculation.
Okay, that's another word.
You like
Never,
that word?
ever to be used on this program again.
68 million fewer sperm upon ejaculation than men who ate a more healthy, balanced diet. We're talking.
So don't eat processed food.
This is science.
Stop ordering takeout and pizza.
Man is considered to have a low sperm count. This is perfect for our friends at Low T Center. If he has less than 39 million sperm per ejaculation, or fewer than 15 million sperm per millimeter. Mm-hmm. You know, count. I feel like count on Electric Company.
Yeah.
The study. Yeah, you got to get to 15 million.
I'll be here all day.
The study looked at 3,000 Danish men of normal weight with a median age of 19 who were all undergoing a physical to determine their fitness for military service, which is required in Denmark.
Yeah.
Blood and semen samples were taken, and the men completed a questionnaire that asked how often they had eaten 136 food items in the prior 3 months. 4 different food patterns. The prudent food pattern, fish, chicken, vegetables, fruit, water.
Yeah.
The open sandwich pattern, more typically Danish diet with greater intake of cold, processed meats, whole grain breads, mayonnaise, cold fish. The vegetarian-like pattern, vegetables, soy milk, eggs, no red meat or chicken. And the unhealthy Western pattern with the pizza and snacks I just described. Best on the sperm count upon ejaculation. Did you want to know?
Seriously, I'm going to leave early.
The median sperm count of men who had the highest adherence to the prudent pattern, 68 million sperm higher than men who had the highest adherence to the Western pattern. So the best is the prudent pattern, and the worst is the Western pattern, and the vegetarian pattern is second. Upon ejaculation.
Ah, come on. Oh, Justin.
Brenda on the north side.
You guys are gross.
Somebody have a towel.
Oh,
Brenda,
come on.
Brenda, you're on Chicago.
I know, I've got
Answer.
gloves. I'm fine. Y'all do what you want.
Brenda, save us.
Brenda.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, it's Eric and Kathy. Go ahead, Brenda.
Okay, well, I just wanted to chime in on why Brenda is single, and it's because of the opposite of what this lady is saying. Me and most of my girlfriends are trying to find real men who are men who have traditional values, want to stand up and protect a woman and be a provider and be a grown-up and not a little baby man.
Yeah, who was wearing wedding dresses running up a mountain.
Do you have a minimum required sperm
that's
count?
Ridiculous. No, I would say the typical woman is really not interested in that at all, and this is just your fringe leftist nonsense.
Have you done a scrupulous inventory of your deepest thoughts about gender norms?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
All right.
Why would I do that?
I don't know.
She's a real woman.
All right.
I just want a real man.
All right, Brenda. Well, good luck out there. It's a jungle out there, I guess, for single people on both sides of the aisle.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Networks of the future are here now. Game-changing serverless networks with technology that's finally ready for prime time. Turnkey IT is ready to set up your business, increase productivity, save you money, and a lot of headaches. Imagine not having to purchase or maintain a local server in your building and continue using all the tools you rely on with Microsoft 365. Everything is in one place on the Office 365 cloud platform with all files and folders stored, backed up, and ready to be shared securely within your organization. Can your business go serverless? Turnkey IT can get you started with a free 5-point assessment to determine if your business qualifies, and it only takes about 2 minutes. Visit turnkey.pro today to speak with one of their team members to find out more and join the growing number of companies using the Microsoft 365 platform now.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Picture your son and the kind of man you hope he becomes, a strong father and a man of deep faith and a great professional. Northridge Prep builds that kind of man. At an open house on Sunday, April 5th, see why my friends are among the families from 74 Chicagoland zip codes that chose Northridge Prep. They have it all. Teachers there are role models, challenging students through a demanding curriculum, through championship-winning athletic programs, and through electives like business and bioethics. It's the #1 all-boys and #4 best Catholic school in Illinois. Sends students to some of the best universities in the U.S. each year. Students leave Northridge Prep ready to make a real impact. If your son is entering grades 6 through 12, I urge you to visit Northridge Prep's open house Sunday, April 5th. Register online at northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
When it's cold outside, you can dress for it. But when your furnace gives out, hey, a blanket fort can only do so much. So call your local 1-Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll replace your old furnace with a new high-efficiency one. And that beats a bunch of blankets any day. Right now, cozy up to big savings on a complete heating system. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Robert Anderson, president of McLaughlin Body Company in the Quad Cities, and a customer of Signature Bank. When our 100-year-old family-owned manufacturing company was looking for a new bank, we found an excellent partner with Signature Bank. Signature Bank understands the challenges with manufacturing in today's highly competitive environment. We recently participated in the New Markets Tax Credit Program and were fortunate to have the experts at Signature Bank help us navigate the complexities of this program. With Signature Bank's support, we were able to expand not only our facility, but ultimately our business. If you're looking for a trusted banking partner for your business, look to Chicago's own Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
People all over Chicagoland love their traditions, like going to the auto show. Well, here's another Chicagoland tradition, going to Napleton after the auto show for some of the biggest savings around. Right now at Napleton Hyundai in Glenview, buyers can save hundreds, even thousands with auto show incentives on the huge Hyundai inventory in stock today. Napleton Hyundai in Glenview. Napleton, second to none since 1931.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 888-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code Chicago.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
If you've been in business more than 20 minutes, you've probably printed your logo on all kinds of promotional products. We all know logos work because they're on everything from the top of skyscrapers to the bottom of shoes. Ever wondered why? Or how to best use your logo to grow your business? Let us show you today for free. We're 4imprint, promotional product experts at your service. We're giving away the latest issue of Amplify, the digital magazine that reveals promotional product success stories absolutely free to everyone who texts BOOST to 88988. At 4imprint, we make your logo look perfect on thousands of promotional items. With our 100% guarantee, it'll be right the first time, on time, every time. Your free e-magazine will reveal invaluable insights that can attract new customers, build your brand, and grow your business. Get the latest issue of Amplify absolutely free by texting BOOST to 88988. That's BOOST to 88988.
AM 560, The Answer.
It's time for Animal Stories with Uncle Dan and Little Amy.
Yeah, Amy, I know you're a skeptic of anthropomorphism.
Sure.
But Clive Wynn, who's the founder of the Canine Science Collaboratory at Arizona State University, you're familiar with him,
Yeah.
makes the case, and there is a growing body of research that supports this,
What?
that dogs can actually experience love. That you can have a love relationship with your dog as good or better than with your significant other.
But
I'm adding that, but
But here's the thing. Do they love us for the food we have in our hand, or do they know, like, that's the woman who gives me everything I want?
it's a great
Whether
question.
it's a puppuccino, a cup pup, she loves me.
Let me refer you to Clive Wynn, who began studying dogs in the early 2000s. He initially was a skeptic until he was swayed by a body of evidence that was growing too big to ignore, he said. He explains that one of the most striking advances coming from the studies regarding oxytocin, the brain chemical that cements emotional bonds between people, is also responsible for interspecies relationships between dogs and humans and gets your mind out of the gutter. I mean, in a platonic way.
My mind didn't go in the gutter.
What's going on in Lakeview? You know, you never know.
Stop it.
Recent research at a Japanese university has shown that the levels of oxytocin spike when humans and their dogs gaze into each other's eyes, mirroring the effect observed between mothers and babies.
We do have stare contests, Bunky and I.
Dogs don't like when you stare at them.
Bunky likes when I stare at her.
Really?
And then some days it
I think
just
Bunky
depends on her mood. If my alarm goes off or when it does, she just lays right on top of my chest like, you're not going anywhere, Missy. You're staying right here.
The other thing, this is interesting, UCLA geneticist, dogs have a mutation in the gene responsible for Williams syndrome in humans, which is a condition characterized by intellectual limitations and exceptional gregariousness. The essential, going back to Clive Wynn, he writes, the essential thing about dogs, as for people with Williams syndrome, is a desire to form close connections, to have warm personal relationships, to love and be loved. So it's not just a matter, he argues, of survival, because this is where I get my sustenance, this is where I get my shelter, that's why. No. It's this genetic mutation, similar, again, according to their research, to the one responsible for Williams syndrome in humans that drives people to have these, dogs like people to be more gregarious and to have these truly, authentically loving relationships. So you're going to look at Bunky in a whole new light when you get
I
home.
am.
How about that?
Make that eye contact. I have a bit of an animal story.
Okay.
But it's about Chick-fil-A, which is kind of a stretch.
Is this an animal story in service of protecting cows and calves like Joaquin Phoenix? So eat chicken? Is that?
Yeah, no, we're eating chicken here. We're eating lots of chicken. These college kids, they're on the cross-country and track team at New York's Polytech Institute. I think, Division III, I think.
Very good. Very good track.
They really were jonesing for some Chick-fil-A. They had 1 week off, of running, and we got to hatch a plan, get it, to find some Chick-fil-A. There was a Chick-fil-A in the airport, and the other in the Albany airport, and the other Chick-fil-A was 90 minutes away. So the round trip, it wasn't adding up. So what one of the captains did, Vincent, he found the cheapest one-way ticket from Albany to Fort Lauderdale.
Well, why didn't they just go to them at the airport?
Well, that's what he did. Because it's past security, the security checkpoint. You can't just walk in. You need a ticket. So what he did, he found the cheapest one-way ticket from Albany to Fort Lauderdale for $98. Bought the ticket, cruised through security, spent $227 on 15 chicken sandwiches, 15 large fries,
then flew
13
to Fort
orders,
Lauderdale and ate it all.
13 orders of chicken nuggets, bag of cookies, lemonade for a grand total of $325. They split it up among 18 track and field players, and everybody was happy. So that's pretty. You know what? I give them an A for ingenuity. That's pretty good.
Now they're going to have to run it all off.
Exactly. Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical producer, and Quinn McCarthy, who is.
I don't want to go back to our previous story.
Oh, you know what?
He's on. No.
We're fine.
He's on the prudent diet.
Okay.
68 million sperm per.
Okay. Thank you. We're back here bright and early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now here is Mike Scott.
Blago, a no-show. Fired school administrators suing CPS. Blues rally to beat the Blackhawks while the Thunder top the Bulls. WIND Chicago News Time, 9 o'clock.
A rebound on Wall Street. I'm Dave Anthony.